evening, radio fans, and welcome back to another episode of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite. I'm your host, Bobby Tamburo, and joining me as always is the star of the show and the name in the title, Eastside Dave McDonald.
Thank you, Robert. My God, Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite has never been more on fire than it is right now. I must thank all of the Patreon supporters, patreon.com/EastsideDave. They're getting the shows. They've gotten actually the last two shows way in advance of anyone else. I mean, really, Patreon is the exclusive home of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite. And like I said, after a month, but actually recently it was 2 months, we release the episodes on YouTube. I might even knock it further and further until if you're just going to go with the YouTube version, that's fine. But you're watching something Robert and I talked about a year ago, and I gotta thank the Patreons. Oh my God, they're so nice and they're so fantastic. And Robert, I had a wonderful Easter, and I know you're here, and I know you had a wonderful Easter.
No, just
and I'm
peachy.
just. How was your Easter?
Oh, just peachy.
I mean, you don't sound like was that peachy. Was it okay? Did you anything bad?
I mean, I resurrected the tradition of fighting with my family.
Jesus
Apparently, you aren't
Christ.
allowed to make fun of yourself for being ugly or short and bald. And then
You
when
did
people
this-
are like, I know, I did everything right, it's like, well, you didn't get me on HGH early enough.
You're complaining about your genes, not like Levi's, but your genetics to your parents on Easter, and then it surprises you that your mother and father would be a little sensitive to their child criticizing the genetics of the family and saying,
To be clear, wasn't criticizing the whole family, just me in particular.
You have siblings?
I do.
Maybe we should do a Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite Robert
We should
edition.
not. We should not.
I think that would be that would be the highest rated episode ever.
Maybe, but I don't know. I just like if I go, I'm ugly and bald, you can't go, no, you're good. Like, don't fucking lie to me. Just be like, it's fine. That's an option. But don't be like, no, you look fine. Fuck you. I know what I look like. Don't give me a turd and polish it and say it's a fucking diamond.
You're not allowed to tell your parents that they can't say that you look fine. Parents are going to think that their child does look fine. They're not lying to you. This is crazy.
Right. And I just was pointing out that I wanted to do testosterone. And they were like, hey, why would you do test? And I was like, because I've got all the negative effects of testosterone without the benefits. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm short, bald, and like angry all the time.
Yeah, very angry.
And they're
very angry.
Oh, no, you're right. It's like, no, I'm not. Just I look like anyway.
Well, my Easter, thanks for asking, was wonderful, except for, and I talked about it on Davey Mac Sports Program. I'm not going to go into it in depth here. But the only reason why I'm bringing this up, it came to mind, is because Jay Moore said that one of my absolute best bits, Jay Moore said one of his favorite Eastside Dave bits on the Ron and Fez show was when I just told a story about Easter and that how much bullshit I thought it was that my brother was allowed to compete when he's a goddamn track star. He's the greatest track star in the history of New Jersey. He went to Dartmouth, an Ivy League school, to fucking do track, and then he fucking becomes the assistant track coach after he graduates. It's like being in the fucking house with Carl Lewis over here. Not Carl Banks, he's a linebacker. Carl Lewis. And it's like, that's not fair. I was the youngest of 4 sons. Age differences, 10, 9, and 5. So they're outside. They're 15, 14, and goddamn 10, and I'm 5 years old. Wouldn't you give the stupid little redhead kid a little fucking head start? No. So guess who had a goddamn Easter egg hunt this past Easter? And guess who fucking lost again because my mom decided to shift the Easter egg hunt indoors because it was raining.
And that was
So
you versus all of your siblings who are over 6 feet tall, still have
me,
full heads of hair.
Mark, Walter, and all the children were involved. Patrick, the brother in Los Angeles, could not come because he's in Los Angeles. All of the rest of us are on the East Coast. And I says, Mother, if you move this Easter egg hunt indoor, okay, this house is going to be destroyed like the fucking Who was here in 1978. You understand what I'm saying? And she goes,
Davey Mac's
what?
on the drums.
And she goes, what does that mean? The Who. And I'm like, of all the fucking references, I should have just said the Rolling Stones, you know? I should have just said, like, it would have been like a Rolling Stones fucking hotel incident in 1966. And I went with the Who. And then for the next goddamn 20 minutes, I had to explain to her who the fuck John Entwistle was and why the Ox is one of the greatest, most underrated bassists of all time. So what happens, Robert? My brother Mark and I
filled your drum with a bunch of explosives.
No.
You want even more explosives. And then really on the first song, you just kicked it and blew up.
No.
Oh, that was the
My brother Mark and I go for the same goddamn egg. I knock over a 62-year-old Pelican lamp, a lamp that was literally from 1962 and thus is 62 years old. I break the beak and the wing on the thing, and I get the blame. So, a goddamn Easter fucking controversy. So you're welcome, Jay Moore. It's your goddamn fault that I even have to participate in these fucking things still have anyway, because my mom heard the whole Jay Moore loves Davey Mac's Easter fucking stories with the egg hunt on the Ron and Fez show. And she's like, well, let's just, So now it's like
Jay Moore texted you as a fan of Tales from the Satellite. I was going to be like, we just had that whole what should I do for my next job? And you didn't bring up Jay Moore?
No, I texted Jay Moore. I said, Jay Moore, this is your old friend, Davey Mac here. I heard you're banging the Lakers owner. I'm like, any other female owners?
Yeah.
Is the Celtics owned by a woman? Because, I'd love to get into that fucking basketball owner, hook it up with a billionaire type of thing. But I'm very proud of Jay Moore. He's doing a great job being Jeannie Buss's husband, I guess. Are they a husband and wife now?
I believe they are. Congratulations, Mr. Moore.
Wow.
We may have wished them that luck on a previous episode too, though.
And, well, listen, I did text him, Robert. No text back. Regardless, that was one of his favorite bits that I ever did.
It was a great bit. One of mine on the Easter tradition was always, do you know who invented the chair with the back, Davey Mac?
Jesus Christ, Robert. Jesus, as discussed on the Ron and Fez show by Ron Bennington, Fez Watley, and myself. I believe Earl Douglas was there, and he fits he fits the category of a doubting Thomas. But
1,000%.
Yeah, Jesus. Are we going to discuss that now? Is that something you'd like to talk about?
No, I was just kind of bringing up with the Easter holiday, and we would be remiss if we didn't go and mention that we already talked about this when Earl chokes Dave, but that did
That's
occur.
Right. The Jesus chair was already discussed.
No. The choking, I'm saying, happened on Black Friday. The choking episode we went into occurred on Black Friday. If you'll recall, the quote that was going around Twitter on Easter was, Jesus Christ, Earl, it's Black Friday, and you just choked the man.
Maybe he thought that's why he could choke me, because it was Black Friday. And maybe he
misunderstood.
Maybe Earl thinks like Black Friday is for like African Americans to strangle Irish people. I don't know how it works.
Oh, no, Good Friday. I'm sorry. Jesus, Earl, it's Good Friday and you choked Dave, not Black Friday.
Well, now
we got that confused.
Shit that I said even made sense.
Well, it is confusing, right? And it does kind of give you a clue who shapes the narrative. That the day Jesus died is called Good Friday, and the day where you don't make a lot of money because everything's on sale is called Black Friday. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Now, again, so we got that bit. So today's episode is what we're calling Best of the Bits.
Best of the Bits, or I like to call it the Carousel characters, because that's really what we're kind of highlighting today is the various, like one of each person. It's really going to be kind of a highlight.
Yeah, plus I guess best of people then all of a sudden think we're doing a goddamn best of. This ain't no best of. Don't fucking click off. Don't fucking click off. This ain't no best of. It's a Carousel of Characters. Carousel of Characters. And that's what we're discussing is all of the fun characters that we did on the Ron and Fez show and had a great time with. Sometimes the characters would start controversy. Sometimes the characters were really quick.
A response to controversy.
Right. Sometimes the characters were in and out. Sometimes the characters stuck around for a while and became legends.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I keep cutting you off. I think there might be a delay. I don't mean to step on your toes. You're the star here, Dave. Take the reins.
I am the fucking star. And you have to understand, at the beginning of the show, I'm shot out of a cannon. The time for you to talk is always an hour and a half into the show where I'm running out of juice. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying, like, what I loved about all the characters is that either they came out of controversy, they started a controversy, or they were just quick off the cuff. But you play such a diverse range of characters. It's kind of funny. However, the one point Ron always brings up is it seems like when either you or Fez do a character, whatever's in your mind for the day is what the character's talking about. Like whatever's been the subject of discussion seems to be what the character's ready to and prepared to talk about. There's not a lot of but the way we're going to kind of set
what should the character be talking about?
Well, just sometimes like a character might be a specific, thing, and then he's talking about other non-topics to that character.
Okay, I
think you wouldn't bring. Jim Norton once said you wouldn't bring Fuck Twat the Clown in to discuss international relations or how to solve the Middle East crisis. You know what I mean? Like,
but if there was a guest or something, yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay, I see.
And I didn't mean to step on your toes, but the way we were going to kind of set the table was you and Fez during a Siren Series did a series of 8 characters versus each other. Now, you ended up doing like 30 because you had a medley at the end. We're not going to dive too much into that. I'm guessing the Siren Series is going to be a topic going down the road. But before we even get into any of that, how do you come up with a character?
Okay.
So we talked, obviously there's the inspiration.
Yeah. Siren Series was, Ron was trying to get Fez to do more characters because he had stopped kind of doing characters. I mean, I think he still would do a Fezzatorial every once in a while and maybe a Ric Flair. But, remember, he used to give the fashion reviews, the guy who, Mr. Blackwell, with the fashion reviews and all this kind of thing with the Oscars. And I remember Ron wanting to get Fez back in the whole habit of creating some characters every once in a while. And this was actually really fun. We had it was like an Olympics, if you will, where the rules were simple. We each had to come up with 5 characters, kind of like quick hits. I go, Fez goes, I go, Fez goes, so on and so forth. At the end, we vote. And whoever's the best, that's the Siren Series champion of the day. I really enjoyed it. And I remember having some great characters from the Siren Series that I don't think have ever appeared on any of my shows since. And I probably should dig up some of the Siren Series people because there were a couple.
That's partially true. But the other part that I think is really cool is the number of characters that then developed into things down the road, too. Like, there were several things that you expanded upon later on down the road, which was pretty cool, too.
Yeah, you're right.
But let's say, how do you decide what the character's going to be? Like, let's say, do you want me to just give you an example?
Yeah, give me an example.
Okay, so the first character you chose to do on the Siren Series contest was Shits Nolte.
As we start this, it will be the flip of a coin to see who goes first.
Okay.
Fez, I want you to call heads or tails.
Tails.
All right, you get tails. That means you get to call whether you want heads or tails. No, tails means that you win it, Fezzy. You have the decision now. Do you want to start this or be the second person?
I will go second.
Whoa!
Yeah. I'm going to defer.
Shocking. All right, and what...
I believe in my defense.
And what goal will you be defending?
The north end.
Okay. He points to, I would say, northeast, as he said north end, so I'm proud of him there. All right, Davey Mac.
Okay, it's fair.
Is this what we're leaving on as the background music? Seeker? I don't know what we're doing. The production meeting's starting tomorrow.
Right.
As we start off, Dave will be going first with Shits Nolte.
This is Shits Nolte, and boy, do I have a case of the shits. God damn it. Let me start off by telling you something. You can get through life half-assed, but you cannot win half-assed. Speaking of asses, some shit just fell out of mine. God damn it. What I'm saying is, it's art. You gotta give it up. You were never really an artist in the first place. Maybe a fartist, not an artist. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really must fart out some shit. God damn it. I'm getting too old for this shit. Literally, my ass is about 65, but my shit's only 10 days old. White Rabbit. How many players did you buy this week, Happy? Huh? And then couldn't you spend that money on a porta potty? I got the shits, Wallace and Gromit. We're gonna get up that hill, boys. Yeah, we're gonna get up that hill, and then we'll get some water. But not till we get up that hill. Not till I shit out this army food I've been eating. Good God, these shits smell like canteens and Jeffs. Damn it! Just do what you have to, Happy. I don't want to know about it unless it is actually shit. Then I do want to know about it. Exiting my anus, Lyle love it. I'm Shits Nolte, I gotta go. God damn it.
That was it. Long first when it was Dave's first. Shits Nolte.
Under a minute?
Yeah, but let's introduce Shits Nolte into the blind side mom, Leanne Tully. Leanne Tully.
Hey there, I'm Leanne Tui, and I'm the mom from Blindside. Now what I do is I adopt big dumb black kids and turn them into football players. It's what I do. And I don't change those boys' lives. They change mine. Now let me ask you boys, do you have a place to sleep tonight? Don't you dare lie to me. Come on, you're all coming home with me. Then first thing tomorrow, I'm going to take over the football practice and teach every last one of you how to block. Because when you think of that quarterback, you think of me. Even though I've never played quarterback, and even though he's a boy and I'm a southern woman in a push-up bra, you still think of me, Leanne Tui, the mom from Blindside. And let me tell you all, you threaten my son, you threaten me. I'm just a mom raising a daughter, a son, and a developmentally challenged offensive lineman. I will still come back here and kill every one of you stereotypical black gang members because I'm not changing that boy's life. He's changing mine. Because you know what? That big dumb right tackle with the GPA of a grape, he's never had one before. And I know what you're thinking. A bedroom of his own? No, a bed. And I'm not changing that bed. It's changing me. All right, now, me and my husband, we got to drive around and look for more freezing black kids to bring home. Y'all take care now, you hear?
Wow, these are long characters. Long characters. That was Shits Nolte versus the blind side mom, Leanne Tui, was it?
Tui.
Tui.
Leanne Tui.
Wow, long-winded.
From outside of Memphis, I think.
Okay, so when it comes to something like that, no, okay, look, bottom line is this. 90% of the people I do impressions of, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
90%. There's very few. I was not a fan of Jay Leno, so I did a little Dave Leno character.
That's coming up. Don't you even worry.
But as far as Shits Nolte go, like most of them are, it's simply, Robert, I'm a fan of these people. And because I'm a fan, I kind of know a little bit of how they sound like, but really more importantly, what kind of stuff they want to talk about. As far as Shits Nolte go, I'm a massive Nick Nolte fan. And I always thought no one on the planet Earth has ever said the phrase, God damn, better than Nick Nolte. I don't know what it is, but when Nick Nolte gives you, God damn it, you know, God damn it, Happy. Oh, yeah. And me and Pepper love blue chips. That's also why. So one of the things we used to do is we discuss, Robert, is when Ron and Fez would leave on Friday, Pepper had production to do. I had production I guess I was supposed to be doing, but really I didn't like to sign up or do any of that kind of thing. However, you know, we're still there. We're still friends. He's in the office. It's Friday. So we decided to have what I called Fish Fridays. Pepper's working, but I know he likes Fish. The band, So we put fish on one of the computers. Yeah, the music. We
Thought you
put
invited
fish on the
Flutzy to hang.
music, and then I drink, and then I get us a bunch of tall boys, and he would drink a little bit of his tall boys while he's editing, and I would drink the tall boys watching the music. But we were discussing one day how much we both loved Blue Chips, starring Shaquille O'Neal and Nick Nolte. Have you ever seen that, Robert?
No, I can't say I have. My Shaq movie history is limited to the one where he plays the genie in the boombox.
Shazam!
Nice hoodie, by the way.
Listen, I can't say that goddamn Blue Chips is on the level of a Hoosiers or many other sports movies. But as far as a fun sports movie that you can sit around and have some beers with, it's fantastic. It really is. It's a fantastic movie. If you want to be sitting around talking with your homies, having some chips, having a slice of it, having some beer, that's the type of movie. You don't have to go strict paying attention, and you watch the basketball parts.
It's a great hangout movie, yeah.
Great hangout movie. And Nick Nolte was always yelling at the actor J.T. Walsh, who played one of these boosters called Happy. And it was like Happy kept wanting Nick Nolte to cheat in the program. So he's a college basketball coach, basically Bobby Knight. Okay, that's who he is. And the booster wants him, and everyone wants him to cheat. And because he's been playing by the rules, and he just finished fucking, 10-12 in the regular season. And so they get fucking Nick Nolte to do all that shit. Oh my God, I love it. But there's nothing better than when he goes, God damn it, Happy. Oh, God damn it, Happy. God damn it, I'm not going to. God damn it, Happy. So I actually literally, the whole Shits Nolte character was simply based on the fact that I like how Nick Nolte says, God damn it.
Now, do you come up with the Nick Nolte impression and go, where do I go from here? Let me make it about shit. Or do you come up with Shits Nolte and then go, I got to work on my Nick Nolte impression?
No, it was I like Nick Nolte. But you can't just, one of the characters can't be, here's Dave, was Nick Nolte.
No. I was just curious. Yeah.
Roddy, it's Nick Nolte here for the Siren Series. And God damn it, Rod. I mean, I wouldn't have had any material. So we changed him to Shits Nolte. Now he's got a goddamn, bowel movement issue. Boom. We got something.
I like it. Now, I actually did a Gene Hackman impression last weekend because I got to the club a little early and was nervous. Like, I wanted to do a good job, so I went out to make sure the stage was the same size as the dojos where I'm used to performing at home and that the microphone was the same brand, and I showed myself that and then, performed against the black host. Which, when you really think about that movie, is all the messages is like, nope, the white team's still relevant.
Oh, what, in Hoosiers?
In Hoosiers, yeah. It's basically like, nope, not integrating here.
I know. We're seeing the Hoosiers things play out in real time right now with that LSU Iowa shit. But anyway.
Oh, man. Both players are like, it's not about that.
But it is. And
it really was, yeah.
Anymore. And by the way, I didn't watch any of it, so I don't give a shit.
Well, that's where you and I differ, Davey Mac. I watch both those games.
All right. We're gonna be
anyway,
focused.
We're focused on Shit Nolte. This is usually where I keep you on track, not the other way.
Well, we're focused on the characters today. I like what you called it. The carousel of characters. That's the episode. And so that's Shits Nolte. What else do you got for me?
And what I thought was cool was because Nick Nolte's a real person, it seems like the character Fez chose to go up against him with was Lorraine Tooley? Is that the name?
I must correct you.
Please.
We did not know what order the other guys' characters were going to be. So sort of like So you had to strategize which characters you like the most.
And
so
Fez actually won the coin toss and chose to go second so he could choose who to go up against you. So I think he chose a real life person to go against a real life, like, okay, we're both kind of touching on this real person.
Oh, that's smart. And by the way, would you have done that, Robert? As a comedian, would you have gone second? Right? It's not baseball, with all due respect. I love Fez, we love Ron and Fez. We always do. That's what the show's about. Okay. But baseball, last licks, 100%. I don't know if you want to go have last licks with this type of thing, right? I think you want to go first. No?
It depends on if you think you're a better impressionist would be my thing. Like if I don't think I'm good at impressions, so I'd go first and be like, hopefully they don't match as good as I did. Whereas with Fez, I think his thought was, I'm the best. I'm going to go last no matter what, and I can beat Davey Mac. You know what I mean?
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. The whole point of this thing was that Fez was feeling insecure about doing characters. And so he was not feeling very confident. And that's why we actually created this competition, was just, well, don't think about it. If you do a Siren series and you do 5 characters and each character only has to be on the air for, I think it was only 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes per character.
Right so out the gate, Ron's like, these are long impressions, guys. We're going to be here all
that's all. Yeah, he wanted quick hits. And by the way, it did not need to be impressions. This was the Siren series is a character contest. Impressions were legal. But if you wanted, a straight up new character, I'm Jerk Off Johnny, right? Oh, no. I'll call myself Louis Dave K, right over here. That would be my impression character. But you could invent any brand new character. You could call yourself Mayonnaise Matthew, and someone who liked to eat mayonnaise and then blow it out his nose or something. Whatever you want.
I don't like Mayonnaise Matthew. I wouldn't be friends with him.
Mayonnaise Matthew was like a garbage pail kid, which probably also is a legitimate inspiration for a lot of my characters that I'm willing to admit.
The garbage pail kids, fair.
I fucking loved garbage pail kids growing up so much. Any child of the 80s would know how fantastic they were when you got a new pack of garbage pail kids. My God.
And Lorraine is not a garbage pail kid, but Fez did kind of use that where he was being inspired by other stuff and leaned into what he was already talking about. So Lorraine's whole thing was she was going to adopt another black kid to make him a running back, and then another one to make him the whole team. That was the mom from The Blind Side. And Fez, if you recall, really did not like the mother from The Blind Side. He didn't like Sarah Jessica Parker. And as we're finding out, Fez was right. Like, do you remember all these stories are coming out that they lied? Yeah, Fez was all over it.
Mom totally used that kid, used that football player. She should be ashamed of herself. Fez called it. Yeah. Give him the credit. And I also think he had a little thing against a little. I don't think he was always ever a huge Sandra Bullock fan. I could be talking.
I will agree. No, I think you're absolutely right.
Something about Sandra Bullock was not Fez's cup of tea, so to speak. That is so funny.
Yeah. So that was the first 2 characters. And we kind of talked about, you said sometimes if you're a fan of somebody, you do an impression of them. So we're going to venture away from the series and kind of talk about another character that came up a bunch. Real life person. I know you love the movie Jaws. Richard Dreyfuss.
Hi, David. It's me, Richard Dreyfuss here. How are you, Pepper?
Okay, Mr. Dreyfuss.
Pepper, hang on. Take a good look at that millbird, okay?
Yeah.
And those proportions are correct.
Uh-huh.
You have a shark problem here on Christmas Eve.
We're not even near water.
Pepper, let me tell you something.
We're in the building.
I brought red eggnog and white eggnog. Okay. I'm not sure what you were serving for dinner.
That should be wine, not eggnog.
Martin.
My name's Pepper.
Yeah, Martin, this was not
Pepper.
A boating accident.
No.
And this was not a propeller. This was a shark, Martin.
Dude, I don't see what these shark things have to do with
Martin
me.
Pepper Stanley.
Yeah. Pepper Stanley. I guess that works.
Yeah. Careful with those tanks, Martin. You're going to blow this boat sky high.
I'm not handling any tanks. Why are you laughing at?
Martin, take a look at the billboard, okay? That's Santa Claus up there.
Yeah.
Those proportions aren't correct. He does have a big belly.
Uh-huh.
And a cherry red nose. And Martin.
Yeah.
This was not a reindeer accident. This was a shark.
There's no
Okay.
sharks here. It's Santa Claus. Santa Claus doesn't do the
Martin!
shark. Yeah, what?
This was not a boat propeller. It was an elf. It was one of Santa's little elves. Okay, Martin?
I thought they were kid touchers.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Linda Dreyfuss signing off. Yeah.
Robert, okay, these billboards, look at that billboard right there, Robert. Those proportions are correct. Okay, I didn't know what you'd be eating, so I brought red and I brought white. Chief Brody. Oh, Chief. Yes, I love Richard Dreyfuss so much. I'm still a fan. I always loved pretty much all of his movies.
And as I've kind of was looking through, Richard hasn't made a ton of appearances in the things we've done together. But seems like you enjoy inserting Richard into a situation that has nothing to do with sharks, acting, movies, but perhaps like to come by and wish Chris Pepper Stanley a Merry Christmas on the Davey Mac radio, on when you were back on XL. Like,
Is that true?
Yeah, that's the one of the ones I found was that he came by and he kept calling Pepper Marley, maybe? What was it? Started with an M?
I have no idea. That's a very specific
Marvin, maybe?
random one. Yeah.
But it was a character from Martin. Yeah, and he
Martin.
kept calling him Martin Hamburgers, and
calls
Chris would be
everyone-
like, it's
My Richard
Pepper.
Dreyfuss impression calls everyone Martin. He called Ron Martin. He would call Fez Ron because of Chief Brody. Martin,
yeah.
listen, Martin, Martin, would you like a pretzel? Mary Ellen Moffat, she broke my heart. Oh, boys, he's back. Noon feeding time, or whatever the fuck he said. Yeah, I love Richard Dreyfuss. I don't even just love him in Jaws. I love him in One Flew to Cuckoo's Nest. I love him in Let It
He played
Ride.
Chief, right?
Yeah, I mean, One Flew to Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, I love him in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's what he was. Let It Ride. That was good too. Love Richard Dreyfuss. Big fan.
He showed up to warn Pepper of a shark attack on Christmas Eve. I was just checking my notes there, and it kept being like, Martin Hamburgers, we gotta stop these sharks.
I mean, really, my Richard Dreyfuss is actually just Hooper. I should just say it's Hooper, but no one knows. Like, if you just say Hooper, like, I just say Richard Dreyfuss. But really, I concentrate on Hooper and the Jaws shit.
What I like about your Richard Dreyfuss is he doesn't like jerk off or fart or fuck dudes.
Yep.
He's just straight up Richard Dreyfuss.
He's just Richard Dreyfuss. He's responsible. He doesn't need, he's not shit snelty. He's just, and the two of those work together in Down and Out in Beverly Hills. So it all comes full circle.
What would that sound like?
God damn it. You sure do curse a lot, shit snelty. Oh, God damn it. I just shit my goddamn pants again. Would you like a tissue or some kind of cleaning apparatus? God damn it. How the fuck away. Anyway.
We're going to need a bigger diaper.
That's as good as I can do.
Well, that was very based in reality, both of those characters. And your next character in the Siren series, I think might have also been slightly based in reality, but is clearly just a character. You're not doing an impression. And his name was Fattles.
All right, now it's time to meet Dave's second character. It's Fattles.
Hi, I'm Fattles. I'm so fucking fat. Yesterday I ate so many Cheetos that I puked and then scooped up the puke with Tostitos. That's fat. The thing I hate about trees are they aren't made of steaks. Really fat. I wish cars were just giant Twinkies with wheels so we could ride in them and eat them at the same time. Did I mention I was fat? I was having sex with my girlfriend. When I shot my jizz on her back, I sopped it up with some bread. I'm fucking fat. My dog passed away, so I buried it in the backyard and ate my shit to grieve. That's fat. I wish that Twins catcher Joe Nathan was actually a human hot dog, so I'd let him slide into my mouth. I'm really fucking fat. I wish instead of polio, you got a disease called polio that turns you into cheese strips. I'd hope to get sick in that case so I could eat myself. That's quite fat. I'm Fattles. I gotta go. I'm hungry and I'm extremely fat.
All right, that was Fattles. He's got a weight problem. But now let's meet former NFL coach Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy here checking some news around the NFL. The Colts and Saints are undefeated. We could end up having a Super Bowl with 2 undefeated teams. That's really something to shout about. I really think Peyton Manning's the best quarterback in the league. He got kind of a large head, but I think that helps him out on the field. I'll always root for him as loud as I can. There's trouble in New England. I don't think Tom Brady's getting all the help he can from his team. I'm sorry. Am I getting too loud? Sometimes this stuff just riles me up. Some people are questioning the coaching in New England. You know, I've always had my own coaching style, which was basically just a combination of nodding, blinking, and everyday sign language. Dallas is continuing having trouble in December. If I was their coach, I'd really be letting them have it. I would be screaming as loud as I could, and if anyone could hear me, they'd really get the message. Well, that's it for me. I'm about to lose my voice from all this shouting. I'm Tony Dungy, reporting for the NFL.
All right, that was Fattles meeting Tony Dungy.
Fattles was a very basic character about a man who was fat and couldn't stop eating and continued to eat even though he was so fat. And then he would talk about not being able to stop eating and why does he keep eating and he's so fat and he wishes he could lose weight, but yet he's still eating even while talking on the radio. He's very fat. This was his basic characters. I like to say with some of my shit, not all, but some of my shit, I have a Velvet Underground / Ramones approach. I'm not here to get all fancy, whittle diddle. I'm not going to put on a wig like a Saturday Night Live. I'm not going to do all the goddamn Dana Carvey, all this type of bullshit. We're going to get to the meat of the matter. This character was a fat man named Fattles, and we needed to hear what goes in the mind of someone like that. And that's it. We keep it nice and simple. Ramones, okay?
Were you ever a fan of the Flight of the Conchords? They do a rap song where somebody goes to freestyle, and he's just clearly looking around the room like, there's a picture. Any chance that's what occurred with Fattles here? You're like, I got to pick a character. Oh, like, was there an inspiration at all, or just...
No, the inspiration is I got 5 fucking characters to come up with.
8.
I better come up with some fucking shit here. Let's see.
What confuses me is you do a medley at the end of characters. So you did like 16 by the time this was all done. And Fattles was number 2.
Oh, I have sometimes ADHD and ADD and all that and hyperactivity and everything like that. Sometimes that's really good for creative types. I tell you all the time, I'm the most creative motherfucker to this very day that you'll ever get. I can't stop with the ideas that keep popping in the brain so much, do they?
And sometimes they get you to do Fattles second. And Fez, I think, picks up on this, and he hits you with a Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy. Oh, my God. That's hysterical. Fez did a Tony Dungy?
Nobody does a Tony Dungy.
No,
he does have a very...
That's the key.
He does have a distinct thing, too. Like, Fez did a very soft-spoken, but it is kind of another example of Fez leaning into what's been talked about. Like, Tony Dungy was under fire as of late, so that's why he did that. But I think he stomped you on that round, to be honest.
No,
the only thing Fattles really had going for him was he had a cheeseburger stinger, where it would just be like, cheeseburger.
Yeah, I mean, he had production. He had some stingers. Fattles was ready to fucking rock. How dare you say you didn't like Fattles?
I'm not saying I didn't like Fattles. I think he would have been like the Paige Stoyakovich of his team. I wouldn't have had him number 2 if I was putting people out there. But I will say one thing that's very evident through all of this is the lack of Earl's production. And that Chris Pepper Stanley's there because every character has their own theme, their own bits. At one point, they used the music to cue you. Go ahead.
Well, no. The reason why I'm happy you're giving the credit to Chris Pepper Stanley. He's a nice gentleman for executing the production. That's what I meant. But but I come up with all my fucking shit, all board gossip, all GG, Guyerson, all fucking thing. I got the goddamn sounders and motherfuckers that I want to play because I know what these characters should sound like.
Absolutely. And I was going to point out the number of times like we've heard through board gossip or something, Earl forgetting to hit the stinger or some, like the fact that it went so smoothly was clearly because Pepper was back there, not Earl.
100%.
Had to search it and to let Dave. Sorry.
He knows what to do. He knows how to do it. He knows, he knows how to function properly.
But you did say stingers were your thing, and perhaps the best example of that is board gossip.
Razzle dazzle, it's board gossip with Eastside Dave.
A little gossip, a little chat, a little idle talk of this and that.
Shh, everybody, it's board gossip time with Eastside Dave. Starting off with FBA, the rumor is someone actually paid to be a moderator. I don't want to say who, but here's a hint.
Won't you big brother, big brother?
It's a Big Brother update.
Switching over to runandfez.net now.
Wait, let Fez and I ask a couple questions.
Yes, Mr. B.
All right, to be a moderator, what exactly do you have to you get to run the board a little bit?
You get to run the board. You get to ban people. You get to edit even their posts. It's a very esteemed, acclaimed title. And this man had to give a few dollars under the table.
How many do you think?
I would say upwards of $20.
Is that a customary practice to have to pay to be a moderator?
I didn't. I got my moderatorship for free at FBA.com.
I'm shocked.
Switching over to ronfez.net now, Rockville Joe has been spotted creating a thread. Welcome to communist ronandfez.net. Joe writes, who would believe that the buddies are proponents of censorship? From now on, keep it positive or they may send the ESD police after us. This columnist thinks that from the sound of Rockville's thread, looks like all's not happy in ronfez.netville.
I don't even understand this one. What's he talking about?
What he's talking about is apparently at ronfez.net, people feel like their freedom of speech is being ruined.
Because we said that the guys who picked on the girls should have been picked on themselves.
Absolutely, yes.
No, we didn't try to stop speech. We want more free speech to attack the attackers.
Well, that's not what the gossip team heard.
Well, then I want a little more gossip.
Let's head over to the land of whackbag. Looks like one whackbagger has a crush on Fez Watley. Angel Fuck was spotted by the gossip team wearing a t-shirt that says, if Fez liked girls, I'd fuck 'em. Ooh la la, Angel Fuck.
Oh, shut up.
Back over to ronfez.net, where we've heard that board member Satcam likes to smell his own earwax and mucus. Oh. Talk about dirty laundry. That board gossip just stinks. Let's go to Whackbag, where RMPGP wonders, what does Ron Bennington like to smoke? Word on the street, RMPGP, cigars.
How is that gossip? It's good. Let it go. This kid's on a roll.
Now it's time for a segment we call Who Could It Be? The radio card craze continues. Started with BAC cards, went over to dick holders. Now one message board is in the midst of creating a pro-Fez card, tentatively titled Fez Allegiance Gang, or Fag Cards. This website, who has created it, continues to be the most positive, special, best, and productive one on the internet. Oh, this website. Who could it be?
This is so bad. Maybe it's great. It's so fucking stupid.
Speaking of blind items,
no one was. Who said?
What RonFez.net married couple was spotted downing cocktails and trading insults at the O&A Halloween party? Hey, I can't tell you. I wouldn't want to get Missy angry.
I think I know.
And that is today's board gossip. Remember, we're always watching.
Razzle dazzle, it's board gossip with Eastside Dave.
A little gossip, a little little chat, a little I.
Wow, board gossip.
What does razzle dazzle mean? It's a celebrities like paparazzi, Hollywood, flash cinematography, razzle dazzle.
Cinematography?
Oh yes.
It's board gossip time. Yeah. Oh God. Where do we begin? This is
And
one of the heavyweights.
we're going to begin at the very beginning with the first
right.
ever board gossip, which was
Yeah.
just that song, a bit of gossip, a bit of chat.
Well, I will tell you, I know every detail of the genesis of this, Robert. This don't require nothing.
Well, help me out. I don't know the genesis.
I was on the message boards quite actively at this point. This was ronfez.net era. There was also other message boards called FBA.com.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a message board that supported the O&A and Ron Fez universe, but the FBA stood for full-blown AIDS.com, which is odd. You had Whack Bag and all the rest of them. And I would go to all these message boards, find out who's fighting with who, blah, 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 just for fun.
Yeah, that's what you do.
But Ron said you should put together a little fucking gossip column. Oh, that's a good idea. So Ron suggested, listen, you know all these people, you fucking do this with that, and these people, you have all the people. See, Davey social over here. Would you say I'm a sociable person?
One of the first lessons you taught me when I started working for you was if somebody reaches out to you on social media, reply. Be engaged. We are involved with the audience. If it's positive and they're supportive, we want them to be a part of us. Exactly. If they're negative, we don't have any room in that universe. Yeah, don't engage those. But your point being, like, we aren't one of those shows that's bigger and better than everybody else. You're Mr. Social. You're very easy to get in contact with. Sometimes
Would you
people
say
are
I'm
just
friendly? Would you say I'm friendly?
Yeah, I'd say to a fault. Sometimes you respond to a letter and then you get screamed at every Wednesday by the guy you responded to and helped out.
Sometimes, but here's the point. I do have a lot of contacts with with the community, with the listeners and this and that. So I was dialed into those folks. It was Ron's suggestion to do a bit. Now, the very first time, I don't know if you have the very first board gossip. I'm not even sure if I want that played, because the very, very, very first board gossip, I didn't really know what I was doing yet.
Mm-mm.
Well, so what's the point of playing that? We're playing shitty audio?
No. It's actually very eye-opening to see how much this developed.
All right,
and
but play a good one too.
Yeah, we'll put them both in. But what I was going to say is the first one didn't have any stingers yet, other than the song.
So why are we playing it? Who gives a fuck about this shitty
Because you
version?
just said how good you were at picking out stingers. So
All
I
right,
was going to
fair enough.
point out how good you were, and how evident it was in board gossip without the stingers, how important they were to the essential product of board gossip.
Fair enough.
But we'll put a good one in at the end. Like, I want to do both so you could see how far it's come. The voice is maintained the same, but there's a rhythm now and a cadence.
Yeah, do it back to back. Do it back to back. I don't want the stinker. It was what I'm saying, stinking up this fucking episode. You understand what I'm saying? If it sucks, I kind of have mixed feelings about playing it. I get what you're saying, and this is a whole show about origins and genesises and blah, blah, blahs. So, okay, put the shitty fucking one first, but please back it up with a really good one so that the folks say, okay. Anyway, the first one, I didn't really know what I was doing. And then it was, I tapped into, as we discussed before, Cindy Adams, New York Post gossip columnist, who also on Live at 5, the local news, news program right here on NBC Channel 4 in New York, New Jersey. She would come on and do like 5-6 minutes of like, well, I see a certain director has been spotted whining and dining in a restaurant. So it was all Cindy Adams. And then once I found the Cindy Adams and then started to add the audio, then we had a home run. And board gossip is an official home run segment.
Oh, absolutely. And Ron saw that right away. Because like you said, it may not have been brilliant, like production-wise the first time around, but even Ron was quoted as saying, "This is so bad, it's amazing." Like the way it was so like a parody of that gossip column that it was so funny.
Okay. And we're playing the one that Ron says this is so bad, it's amazing, because Board Gossip was really good.
It's amazing how far you came.
Okay, so make sure you motherfucking rat, because this is the type of fucking Robert bullshit that happens. Because I don't even understand the purpose of it, but I can see if we're gonna do a compare and contrast. Is it short? Is the first one that's shitty short?
Yeah. Other than your 9.5 minute apology to HTG for something, which Ron yelled at you about.
No, cut that out. Cut that out. Okay, good.
It was like a long. It wasn't that long, but it was a good bit. You could see the formulation of something there, but you needed the stingers, and eventually it came together. That's
what you needed. That shit. You needed your identifiable bits within a bit. It's so weird. Board Gossip becomes a staple bit, and then there are staple segments within Board Gossip. Who could it be? There was always a "Who could it be now?" That was the blind item, very much Cindy Adams inspired.
There was a "Who could it be now" in the original, just not the who there to really bring the point home.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So like you could see the formation of it about to come together. It was just like watching the walkthrough before the game. You're like, I can't wait to see this at game speed. That's why we're going to put them both in there.
I want you to think long and hard about. Okay, you're committed to playing them both.
No, if we don't want to play the first one, we don't have to.
All right, why don't we do that? I just don't want the people to get a bad impression of Board Gossip. Like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be good? All right, here's what we'll do. You play them both. You make sure that first one is fucking tight, baby. I don't want no extraneous. If that one is 90 seconds, that'll be A-okay with the Dave man. You understand?
You don't want like all the callers calling in to be like, what the fuck was that?
I know. I want in and out. But
okay,
Board Gossip, very scandalous thing that developed for real. A phenomenal bit. I mean, it lasted years, in fact. I would get certain people like Mikey Boy was source number one. I would call Mikey Boy. I would call Solera. I would get different people, different spies to give me information. I would call HTG. Call or text, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got to reach out. Yeah, sources. Yeah.
And Robert, it really was. I have to tell you, sadly, I was living like one of my fantasies has always been to work at a hustle and bustle type newspaper. Which, by the way, certainly a dinosaur of a job right now in 2024. But I loved All the President's Men growing up, both the book and the movie with Jason Robards, you know? And so I would pretend I was Jason Robards, Ben Bradley in that, and would be calling up these people. What do you got for me? What can I run with today? All right. Is it good? How good is the information? Can I depend on it? All right, I'm running with it. It was fantastic. I could pretend I was like a little newspaper man.
Solera kept being like, please stop calling me Deep Throat, Dave.
Oh, my sources definitely sometimes were like, Davey Mac, I'm out. I don't have anything for you. I'd be like, come on, you're my number one source, Mikey boy. There's got to be something going on. How about the ronfez.net? Admins? Are the admins getting into a fight that we don't see? What goes on behind the scenes in the admin's room?
Did somebody pay me? Did somebody bribe you $20 to become an admin of the board? That was the first Board Gossip.
Yeah. So
but it did truly develop into something where it was also kind of a way for the show to address what was going on the boards without necessarily engaging in stooping down to that level to be like, let's talk about this fight. Like, you could bring up a fight in Board Gossip and just kind of make fun of it and move on and be like, yeah, we saw what happened. Let's get out. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
that was a beautiful way that it was isolated to that period of time too.
Yeah, and the goal was sometimes to take some of the crazy amounts of heat And you could see it developing all the way back then on social, with the social media, with the message boards. It really was pre-social media.
Yeah.
But you could see it creeping back then, just how, horrible people tend to act online. They just don't act like themselves. You know me. I will act like this to your face online. I don't fucking change. But other people, they say the shit. They fucking say the worst nasty shit of all time. And then you show up to an Opie and Anthony or Ron and Fez event. Me, I'm talking about. And you would be none of them. None of the people who talk such hard fucking game towards me ever said a goddamn word. In fact, just the opposite. They'd be like, hey, can I get a picture? Oh, yeah, but aren't you Wolf Hazard 412 on Whackbag? Yeah, you constantly post that I suck at life, Wolf Hazard 412. So go fuck yourself. Always the same. Oh, hey Dave, and then sometimes they know that I know that they shit talk me, so they'll be like, well, it's cool that you're here, man. It's nice to meet you. I'm not a fan. I think you should shut up sometimes. They're like, you know what you should do? You should shut up right now. That's who should shut up. You.
Fair. Very fair.
So board gossip was my attempt at diffusing some of that online tension that was bubbling. I tried saving the World Wide Web, I suppose, 15 years ago. But
Davey Mac, the hero.
I tried.
And as you pointed out,
you all wanted to continue to be very negative. Like you, Robert.
Yeah.
No
life's
denial.
A bitch and then you die.
Yeah, but at some point, do you think, and I'm really thinking about this. I know this is kind of an existential topic, but just for a second. You think society's ever going to be like, hey, it's just lame and uncool and hacky just to be shitting on people, just constant shitting and drama and bullshit and negativity? For me, that has become hacky and way trendy and too much with the 15, 16 years ago with board gossip, that shit was fresh. But that's the point. This shit fucking happened 16, 17 years ago. Now in 2024, it's just like, you're a bitch, you fuck. Do you think it will ever be trendy, Robert, to be more positive on social media, or do we have no chance of that happening? And for the rest of our lives, it's just going to be a place where people fucking bitch and moan and act trollish.
As long as we have it as good as we have, it's going to be a bitchy moan fest. Like, if you look at the places where people are supportive and super positive to each other, it's places where, those are the people who didn't die today. You know what I mean? As long as we have things so good, it's hard for people to really accept that it's good.
That's a good point.
I think online in particular, there are people who just shit on everything. And what sucks is there are real things that need to be shit on. And so then when you're just the guy who takes the piss out of everything, when it's time to actually take the piss out of something, you're just the guy who bitches and moans. Right? If you look at the plethora of shows you do, right? Every different topic, all positive. If it's a retrospective, it's looking at your life, not other people's. You're not just tuning in to a daily show every day, feeling an emotion and bitching because you're angry at the world. And it doesn't matter what subject comes up, you take that anger out on the subject. You're actually living life. I think people just feel emotions and then go, how do I apply these feelings to what's in front of me today? And then you spend
and everything is about clickbait, and I'm gonna get fired up and shit on people because that gets the most clicks. But it's just so.
But then when you've been fired up for let's say 2.5 years straight, and every day you're bitching about 7 different topics with the same level of ferocity, when it's time to actually bitch, it's the boy who cried wolf. People are like, oh, that's just the guy who complains.
Yeah, correct. Okay, now that that's out of the way, the board gossip was it did actually start some controversies. I did bring things up, which was crazy to me. Little stories where people would then start fighting with each other, or maybe someone would be surprised about a story, this and that, and then they would learn about it, and they might call into Ron and Fez or take to the message board, blah, blah, blah. But the best thing about Board Gossip was, especially if they went to a message board to complain about me in Board Gossip, then that would be in the next Board Gossip.
Yeah, you're just feeding the material. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I had to keep on fucking going, Daddy.
Was there a favorite bit of yours within Board Gossip?
Who could it be now because of the blind item aspect of it that Cindy Adams utilized for the New York Post and NBC4? That was my favorite. Although, you know what? I liked the song Vacation, but that only came out every once in a while, literally right before we headed to vacation. That was my favorite song.
My favorite was Old
We're
Friends.
on vacation, gonna have some fun. VACATION in the summer sun. Yeah. Ooh, I love that one.
Mine was Old Friends.
Little gossip. You know how I found that song?
You went into Delete and searched gossip.
Man of La Mancha.
Oh, and that gets revealed in the first tape, which is why I wanted to play it, but
we're going to play it. You're just got to keep this one tight as
not the part that gets cut out. But no, it's a great, honestly, I don't think people saw Board Gossip and then were like, I could go into this industry, but it really was kind of at the front of social media commentary on social media people.
We were there
There's
first.
an entire industry now just talking about other influencers and what they're doing.
No doubt.
And you were right at the forefront.
No doubt. Listen, I'm actually a fan of this guy, Stephen A. Smith. So this is not I'm not going to go hard on Stephen A. Smith. I'm actually a fan.
Listen here, Davey Mac. I'm 5'4", so I talk like a thug, so people think I'm authoritative. I had MVP winning Steve Nash not on my list of top 5 point guards, but nobody refuses to acknowledge the fact that I'm kind of racist against white folk. My name's Stephen A. Smith.
No, listen. He's not, because I've watched First Take ever since Stephen A. Smith brought Chris Mad Dog Russo aboard, and I am a fan. Okay? So this is not a criticism. But Stephen A. Smith is doing a YouTube show these days, and his whole premise is send me questions, and I'll talk about them. And the type of questions you are getting are, how many 10-year-olds could you beat up? And now, and I'm not taking credit for that.
That's wrong.
No. I'm not saying they use that exact fucking thing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that. I was like, shit.
They're using those type of hypotheticals. What animals could you beat up? And I'm not taking credit on that, but Ron and Fez, that started on the Ron and Fez show, right?
1000%. That weird answering of a question, for sure.
And the point is, lately I've seen people like, Stephen A. Smith has the most creative show imaginable. The other day he was talking about boxing animals, and you're just like, oh, always fucking either me or just the people who I care about, who are done shows with, just always 15, 20 years ahead of the curve, just always way ahead of everyone else. Because now, like, everyone's like, the Stephen A. Smith, the hypothetical questions, man. It's like, no, that's, yeah.
Do you hear the craziest part? Mad Dog smashed his face into pizza.
But the point is that we were using that. We were definitely doing that. We were using the
way
online,
ahead of the curve.
internet.
Way ahead.
You're only about an hour and 15 minutes before the drinking starts, my friend.
Oh, yes.
Lincoln will be drinking. And he's always excited about that. What's up in your life right now? Oh, Jesus.
Razzle Dazzle. It's Board Gossip with Eastside Dave.
A little gossip, a little chat, a little idle talk of this.
It's Board Gossip time, starting off with an exclusive Pal Talk update. Word on the street is that baby girl was none too pleased at being scolded by former boyfriend Lax, and the two are officially on the outs again.
Wow.
Yes. I guess baby girl isn't constipated anymore because she's gotten rid of her ex-lax.
What?
I guess baby girl isn't constipated anymore because she's gotten rid of her ex-lax.
Oh, his name is Lax.
Lax is his name, yes.
Okay.
All right, so because he yelled at her, get off of Pal Talk.
Get off.
She broke up with him.
Yes. Stop talking, baby girl.
Who gets the little monitor? Who gets to be on Pal Talk now?
Oh, yeah, that's all baby girls. I can give you an exclusive scoop, too. I heard she's cavorting with Mike Nice. That's her new main squeeze, who apparently is black.
Girl, where were you?
It was late.
Now, did this start before the other guy?
No, it started directly after. She needed a shoulder to cry on, Mr. B.
Well, it's nice of Mike Nice to be there.
Too bad for Chuck.
Staying with Pal Talk, the gossip team spotted Beach Bunny 0829 talking trash about her former Flame Octane Fan. Beach Bunny was overheard saying, Octane Fan is just trying to hide his true feelings. He's in love with me. And not the other girl. Meaning one buff girl.
Huh?
Ay.
I'm very confused.
Octane Fan is going out with one buff girl.
Huh?
And Beach Bunny is jealous. Whoa. Looks like Beach Bunny is hopping mad. I didn't realize rabbits could also be vampires because this bunny is showing her fangs.
Oh. A lot of couples trouble.
Yeah.
And now for Who Could It Be? Who can it be now? Who can it be now? What popular radio internet girl is reportedly being stalked by a man named New York West, who was caught bad-mouthing her on FBA and Pal Talk? No one knows this man's motives, but he supposedly made this girl sad. This girl who is usually happy and adept at typing. I wonder, who could it be?
All right, who's mad at her?
New York West, apparently stalking, putting out secrets of her on the internet.
I thought everybody loved her.
Everyone does, except for New York West. Mr. Jealousy, I call him.
You know what? Then Fez and I aren't friends with New York West.
Good. Let's gallop over to the cruelcircus.com message board. The gossip team
Circus.
I didn't know there was a message board, too.
Absolutely, just got up, and apparently the gossip team spotted Monica5579 bragging about being Perinoid's current main squeeze. This prompted Cherrynoid to say bitterly, so much for Perry not wanting his personal life all over the board. Maybe he changed his mind about that edict. Or maybe that rule was just for me. Oh, I hope Perry bought some kitty litter gloves because he has a cat fight on his hands.
What is she talking about? They used to send us videos of them lapping urine.
She seems a little jealous, a little bitter. She's not in the spotlight anymore.
Perry seems like he's big in love, huh?
Apparently. And Cherrynoid is not atop his Sunday.
Huh?
I don't know, that came to me on Cherry's on the Sunday.
I got it.
All right.
Whatever.
It's really not cool.
Okay. Should stick with the script, shouldn't I?
No, that was the best thing you've done so far.
Okay.
It's still awful.
Yeah. Now for a bonus. Who could it be? Who could it be now? Who can it be now?
You have to say, who could it be now, Dave?
Who could it be?
Now.
From FVA, the gossip team spotted a thread by Notsum, which accuses a certain black radio producer of eating Jim Norton's almonds. I guess when it comes to almonds, this black radio producer is apparently nuts. I wonder, bonus, who could it be?
Earl, you're an almond-eating motherfucker. I know that for a fact. Every day after the show, I see a gnawing on nuts.
And why do you think they sit in front of the Jim Norton mic?
Well, Norton and I, we have an understanding.
What's the understanding? He buys and you eat?
And I'll replace if I empty them.
When have you ever replaced?
He never has.
And yet I see you eating every day.
I've never emptied them out, but I will. If I empty them out,
How many do you think you've gnawed over the course of the last year?
I take like a handful. I don't.
Every day.
Not every day.
Oh, I guarantee.
Not every day.
You're bullshitting, Earl.
Every day when you're giving your lie meeting up, what would you guys think about? And he's just no. Would it interest you guys to have Robert De Niro in here with Al Pacino? Yeah, possibility. Not saying it's going to happen. Might even get Nicholson, the trifecta.
I don't
all at the same time. Would you go out and eat with them later, Ron? Yes, Earl. Now, come back with nothing.
I don't understand the policy of I'll replace them once they're all gone.
Right.
Not the fact that I take a handful or 2 or 3 every day.
Scoops.
But by the time I take the last almond, that's when I'll finally crack open my wallet and replace.
And Mr. B, my gossip spies tell me Jim Norton has no understanding with Earl about his almonds.
I know he
and
doesn't.
has inquired different people on the staffs, where are my almonds going? Look to the black radio producer. Who could it
What
be?
kind of understanding would that
I told him
be?
straight to his face that I was like, you don't mind if I have some of your own. He's like, Earl, you can do anything you want.
Not every day, Earl. Not every day.
This was ages ago.
That's true. Why is it still going on? Why is it fucking Daily Scoop?
That didn't give you permission to just rate his almonds for the rest of your life?
No, I always said, I asked him once, I was, hey, do you mind if I have some almonds? He's like, you can do anything you
How
want.
long
anything
ago?
It's ages ago. I don't even remember.
You know what? Fez borrowed a fucking buck off me 6 months ago. Doesn't mean I want him going in my wallet when I'm not around.
No, I get a buck every day now.
You take advantage, Earl. You're an almond-eating son of a bitch.
Pumping over to RonFez.net now. Controversy is a-brewing amongst some as ADF seems to have been replaced as moderator by Riley Luck. Stugatz then was overheard groaning, I should have been made mod. Who the hell is Riley Luck anyway? With no mod title in his future, maybe he should change his name to Stugatz No Respect. And that's today's board gossip. Remember, we're always watching.
You know what? All the other things are about hooking up and doing things, and then you end with the dullest one ever.
Can RonFez.net people please start hooking up more?
But you wanna go out with a bang there. That would have been a perfect place.
I wanted to give it to RonFez.net for a time. They always groan and moan, and I thought I'd give them something for the last spot.
You look, here, this was the big story.
Yeah.
Earl's eating Jim Norton's nuts.
On a daily basis.
Sometimes, too, Jimmy, I see him just licking nuts and putting them back in.
That is
yes,
not
you
true.
have.
Absolutely.
That is totally
Absolutely.
And I saw you drop some spittle and go, this one's for you, Jimmy.
not true. No, not at all. I love Jimmy.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're not the pen chewer, too, Earl.
No, I admit I have a bad pen habit, but I use my own pens. I put them in my pocket. I don't let anyone else use them.
Yeah, you do the same thing with the almonds. You put them in your fucking pocket, too. Then you take them home. You wait till you get enough of them, take them home in a jar for your dad. Hey, Dad, I bought you some almonds.
Do not save them from my father.
Get your own almonds.
Yes, I will get my own almonds.
And
Now, what was cool about your other character, though, is you could also be way behind the times, too. Like when late night television was still relevant. And we go back to the Siren series, and Dave's third character is, as you alluded to earlier, Dave Leno.
Dave Leno, absolutely, baby.
Do you remember what Dave Leno was into?
Dave Leno was into what was he into? I know there was something. He's a fucking disgusting. What? Tell me.
He was a sexual deviant, mainly men.
Yeah, he was into. Well, this was okay. Like I said, most of the impressions, I would say, the honestly, 90% is a fair and accurate number. But Jay Leno falls into the 10% of people who I probably didn't like because of how he treated Conan. I was still upset about that all those years. Or maybe this was actually
this was relevant. Yeah,
time.
this was actually right when it was happening. You
Yeah, and
wanted to blow a dude.
But I mean,
He
also
had
like
semen in his ass. But my personal favorite was right then he wanted to fuck Shannon Sharp.
No, it all comes back to First Take. Shannon Sharp is now Stephen A's co-host.
Davey predictability. Or Dave's good at making predictions. Not that was predictable.
But it was Dave Leno reads the classifieds. Am I wrong?
Not in this character contest. It was just Dave Leno was doing classifieds. Like, boy, I wish I could find me a man to fuck in the butt.
Oh, okay, but he didn't actually have like, and on this classified, here's something that says a 12-inch dildo for sale. It's like, I'd love to put that in my ass. Let me tell you something right now. I mean, I'll give it to Mavis, and like be like Mavis here, put the 12-inch black dildo in my, Mavis.
That may have been. I was listening quickly, so I may have missed the intro of him reading the classifieds, but
yeah,
that was certainly the theme.
And the point of that was he ripped that off from Letterman. Letterman used to literally do that newspaper classified bit. I didn't even understand how you could possibly do it. You're both talk show hosts, and Letterman used to actually have the classified printed out and shit. And here's fucking Leno doing it like 10 years later, 8 years later, whatever the fuck.
Did you see this? Did you hear about this? I'm ripping off Dave Letterman's bit.
I know David hates me, David, because I stole the Tonight Show from David, so I'm just going to steal everything. And here's a classified of David's, it's a classified for David's stalker. And that woman still breaking into his house. I don't.
Your mic unplugged, big guy. No, it is not back. So while you do that, Dave Leno was very funny. Go ahead. Nope. You're not back. I'm not messing with you. I can just read your lips. I hope the audience at home can also read your lips so they know I'm not messing with you either. You know what? We're going to take our first break here while we figure out Dave's audio issues, and we'll be right back to you. Make sure you guys check out Silk City Hot Sauce. We'll have Dave Leno do a promo for Silk City Hot Sauce when we get back.
Now let's go over to, well, you love him every night on NBC. It's Dave Leno.
Hey, everybody, I'm Dave Leno. This is headlines. Yeah, okay, then this first headline's an extra sketch picture I made that shows me sucking George Foreman's dick. It's like, whoa, right, guys? It's like, what kind of toy is that, right, Strowman? It's like, down goes Leno. I'm George's big uncircumcised penis, right, fellas? Here's a headline I found interesting. It's a bowl of SpaghettiOs where I spelled out in the soup the phrase, semen in my ass. It's like, hold on, right, man? It's like, what kind of sick food is that, right, boy? It's like, maybe I do want semen in my ass, but I sure as heck don't want my dinner to know about it, right, dudes? I wish I could fuck Shannon Sharp. This next headline is a picture of me masturbating in the theater while watching Lord of the Rings. It's like, whoa, hey, hold on, hey, what kind of movie is this, right, guys? It's like, those hobbits are so cute and fuckable, right, guys? It's like, they're so tiny you could fuck about like 8 hobbits and not even get tired, right, boy? Hey, this headline is simply a Peter North mask that my wife wear, that make my wife wear when I'm at home. It's like, hold the phone, right, man? It's like now all my wife needs is a 10-inch cock and a breast reduction and we'll be on Easy Street, right, guys? It's like, I wish I could go back in time and fuck my grade school gym teacher, Mr. Brixton, right, boys? I wish Danielson and Mr. Miyagi fucked each other. Would have made the movie a lot better. This next headline is an oil painting I have commissioned of me and Santa Claus sucking each other off. It's like, one darn second, okay, guys? It's like, I've heard of holiday cheer, but this is ridiculous, right? It's like, Santa's cum probably tastes like candy canes, right, man? Okay, I'm Dave Leno. This has been Headlines.
There's Dave Leno. But uh-oh, folks. Look who's coming over. It's our nosy neighbor, Mrs. Fairchild.
Hello, Ronnie Fez. I just wanted to stop by and make sure everything's okay over here. I noticed a lot of characters coming in and out.
Yeah, it has been.
Did you hear what happened down the block at Tiger Woods' house? I heard his little Swedish wifey ran over him with the SUV. Have you heard anything about this? Not that it's any of my business, but I think they should both be deported. We don't need any of that kind of stuff in this neighborhood. Speaking of neighborhoods, how much do you think Opie and Anthony make? I heard it's quite a lot. And it all couldn't be from the radio business, could it? I heard something about selling drugs. I'd hate to see that happen in this neighborhood. And what's going on with our East Side Dave? I heard he got drunk and ate his baby. Is that true? He's the one with the gay brother, isn't he? Do you know if he's a top or a bottom or whatever they call it? It would be good to know, especially if he's planning on moving into this neighborhood. And how's our little Chris Stanley? I don't know if you heard about it. Both parents murdered and a cousin too, I believe. So sad to think something like that could happen in this neighborhood. And how are things here at Sirius XM? I heard Martha Stewart's going back to jail. Is that true? And what about Barbara Walters? I hear that's not her real hair. Is that true? Well, I best be running along, very busy. I'm going to read Cousin Brucey's mail. I want to find out what his mortgage payments are. That's something very important in this neighborhood.
All right, bye-bye. There goes. Oh, thank God she's gone. That's our nosy neighbor, Mrs. Fairchild.
Well, I guess Leno has more pull in the media than we thought. He silenced Dave just like he did Conan 16 years ago.
You see how that motherfucker works? That Machiavellian piece of shit. He tries to silence me. I can't talk about Jay Leno without him trying to fucking push mute on my goddamn computer. Well, fuck you, Leno. Okay?
Amen.
And you give David Letterman back his classified sketch. Thank you.
Yeah, and you give Conan the Tonight Show.
Really?
He deserves it at this point. Maybe he just hates redheads.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
hate other redheads? Is that why you didn't compliment my hat?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't hate other redheads. I just told you that I stood up for Conan against Jay Leno.
Oh, okay, then I just can't fathom why
And
you
I
didn't
happen to be a
compliment my
Bill
new hat.
Walton
That's
fan,
okay.
and I happen to be a W. Axl Rose fan. All well known. In fact, probably the Mount Rushmore of redheads would be me, Conan,
Obviously.
Bill Walton, and Axl Rose.
Mine would be you, Lindsay Lohan.
No, we're doing males only.
Oh, you're all-time redheads for me, so you know. Like, you're at the top of my all-time redhead list. It'd be you and Lohan, and then you again, and then Lohan again.
Okay, wow, weird. All right, let's
Big
get back
Lohan
into
guy.
this. What are we doing next?
So, the character that Fez decided to counter Dave Leno with was Miss Fairfield?
Ms. Fairfield.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no idea if it was relevant at the time, or I know.
I don't know. This is one that will be lost to my memory, that's for sure. And I've been actually remembering every single second of this episode thus far. But Ms. Fairfield has slipped through the cracks in the old brains department.
She just kept going. There goes the neighborhood.
I don't
got
know
nothing.
what that is.
Sometimes the characters just born out of necessity were the best, but sometimes, and to be honest with you, my favorite form of humor is using a character to illustrate a situation or do a bit to take your frustration out. Obviously, I learned that from you, but it's always been a fan. My favorite instance of this is Fuck Twat the Clown. Now, we're not going to go super in depth into Fuck Twat because we already did our clowning around episode.
If you want to check that out, let me just pause for a second.
Please.
If you want to go check that out, go check out the previous episodes for all of this gold. And the clowning around episode was tremendous because we did the bearded Joker, Fuck Twat the Clown, and Chipples the Clown Puppet were all had appearances there. But Fuck Twat, classic right there.
And you did say Chipples, which is funny because Fattles was your fat guy. It seems like you just take something and add a littles to it sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, or an E.
Yeah,
like
little.
my fish was just called Swimmy.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I had a goldfish at this point in my life on the Ron and Fez show, and I just named him Swimmy.
I'm swimming. Anyway, but you didn't feel like O&A were giving you proper treatment. They were kind of treating you as the stunt boy, a Billy Staples, if you will. And you went, yeah, sometimes I feel like they're treating me like Fuck Twat the Clown. And Ron goes, that's a new character. And then you do a whole thing about jerking off at kids' parties because that's how they treated you. And you really leaned in and like you went on their show and did it. And I love when something bothers you and you find a funny way to address the situation, right? Like you could have gone in there and just been like, oh, you murdered. To their faces. They all
right to their fucking faces.
How come you weren't invited in for the big drinking show? Next time, let's have Dave part of it.
There was mention of Dave and how we probably should have had him in.
Yeah, he would love to
He would
come
have fit
in.
in just nice.
Yeah, he loves to come in for that kind of thing.
I haven't drank with your boss, Anthony, in the longest time.
Well,
I miss him
He doesn't like you.
No, he does.
And then I saw that check that you got is up on ronfez.net.
Correct.
Loser.
Yeah.
That's what yours said?
See, here's what
seriously hurts
I will say
my
this.
feelings, yeah.
And I don't always see O&A because they leave before I come in. But I want you to let them know that there are certain people in Dave's life, family and friends, who feel like maybe O&A are teasing him a little bit.
Hurting me.
Yeah, with the head shaving, the shit eating, that maybe they don't consider Dave one of the guys, but more like a circus freak,
right,
or loser, like
Yeah.
it said on your check.
Right. Like, I feel like fuck twat the clown to them.
Well,
you know, because,
yeah.
you know, that's
I like that. You gotta come up with the scariest clown ever. Some fucking freaked out clown gimmick,
Right.
and it's fuck twat the clown.
that's the way I feel. They really hurt me.
By the way, I
And
don't know whether you know this, but Fez has almost like a weird thing about any nicknames for the vagina he doesn't like.
Yeah.
It is twat, one of the worst.
Yeah, twat is really bad to me. Twat, it sounds too much like squat. Yeah.
That's what you do. You squat, and there's the twat.
I know, but I don't like
what
that.
What scares you?
It's just twat. Maybe I think of twatto or something, but it's
What
too
about
much.
bearded clam?
No, I don't like that either.
Have you guys heard the new character on 202? Fuck Twat the Clown. What's this about? I heard there was a little bit of a debut on Ron and Fez yesterday, but supposedly this character's for us, made for us.
Yeah, Eastside Dave on the Ron and Fez show. He thinks that the Opie and Anthony show treats him like kind of a stump boy, like a clown.
Yeah.
And then announced to everybody that he thought they were treating him like fuck twat the clown.
Fuck twat the clown.
What does he want to be treated like a fucking intellectual? He taped his own shaved off hair to his head.
Right.
And he put his own shit fingers in his mouth. Dave, we'd like to ponder your thoughts for a moment about world issues.
You're licking shit off of your fingers.
Exactly. How about helping us with that math equation, Dave? After you're done sucking your own feces off your hands, of course, and vomiting for $20. When you get a moment.
So when is he going to do Fuck Twat the Clown for us?
I would hope.
Could it be today?
This week? Well, today, if he can get in. I don't know what fuck twat's time schedule
Maybe it'll
is
be
like.
part of my surprise show.
Jesus Christ. You can bring the fucking clown in now.
Everyone! Did somebody say scabs? Who said scabs, everybody?
Oh, no.
Oh, you look like a little pretty girl like the girls I fucking perform for. My favorite thing about kids is I love fucking them. Scabby! Turn the lights off. Turn them off. Turn them off. No one looks at Scabbo. Turn it back on. Turn it back on. I fucking hate that fucking dancing bear. You know why? He's a faggot. Scab, scab, scab.
What is he doing? He's dressed like a clown.
You know, my favorite thing about the circus is the cannon. Why? Because I love drinking cum every day and night. Scab! 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 Scab in town. I love the ice capades too. It's not quite the circus, but at least there's cum. Scab! Scab on me! I have a notebook because my material's not quite prepared.
It's got a notebook.
Well, so what? Everyone has to take time to perform a character. Hey, the bearded lady's a real twat, but at least her period tastes pretty goddamn good. Scab! Scab! Scab!
What the fuck, dude?
Scab motion! Fuck twat's my name, homie!
Fuck twat.
Fuck Twat the Clown.
It's fuck twat the clown.
Clowns are really sad in the inside, especially when they're locked up for fucking kids. Scab!
Holy shit.
Scab!
He's apparently a pedophile.
Oh God, my fucking polio's kicking in. Help!
Listen to his little festive music that's
I
playing.
love to juggle. I love juggling cum and twat. Scab!
Oh, no.
Why is he taking his pants
Is
off?
Where's my assistant, Scabby? Where's my assistant?
Who's your assistant?
My assistant's my little friend named Scabby. He's a real scab. Woo!
Eastside Dave, what are you doing?
Fuck Twat the Clown, you idiot.
Fuck twat the clown.
Before I
Opie.
go, I just like to say me and my assistant have a little routine planned out.
All right.
Oh, it's a little puppet.
Take it like a fucking man, you little fucking dummy!
He's
Take it like a
fucking
man!
the
Goodbye!
dummy.
Fuck Twat says goodbye!
He's fucking the dummy in the ass.
Off and on! Off and on!
He fucked the dummy in the ass.
Exactly, said the parents of the retard.
And he runs with his pants down to his ankles. Holy shit.
Thomas Overbeck.
What is wrong with that
from
guy?
Dallas writes, Black. Fuck Twat the Clown should meet the same fate as Vulgar the Clown. It's a very good reference.
I don't know.
Being ass raped?
Ass rape. See? Yes.
Wow. Right to their fucking faces, Opie. Yeah. And the problem is, I listen, I'm trying to be cool here. We're not getting angry. All right. This is a fun, golden, retrospective look back on the absolute best time of satellite radio, bar none. And
I'd say radio.
But Opie, the conspiracy theorists could absolutely have a field day. All I know is, I don't know this to be true, but I do know that Anthony Cumia told me, quote unquote, Opie's threatened by you. Quote unquote. Bada bing, bada boom. Well, hold on.
Was that your threat, though?
Hold on. So, there was something about Opie where he knew that he had the most boring fucking cast of producers ever. Not one goddamn personality amongst any of them. Just fucking negative charisma, if that's even the black hole of entertainment. One snooze fest, boring nobody after another. And so he constantly was calling on a guy who didn't even work on his show, but because we're all one big happy family, I'll contribute. I'll be cool. Just take care of me. Make sure that, when I fucking do all this shit, you have my back, okay? And he didn't have my back with the Davey Mac sports program on Saturday nights, so I don't have his back right now. Anthony said Opie was threatened by me, and so one way to bring me in and just make me like little fucking jerk boy. The problem is I'm smarter than Opie. I am. I'm a more intelligent guy. I'm well-read. I'm articulate. I'm studied. I'm smarter. And I am more talented. So I could obviously see what he was doing. So he tried to fuck with me from time to time, and I would just blast his fucking doors off by dressing up like fucktwat and destroying the O&A show. And I did. Boom.
Yeah. To their faces, you addressed the bit in a funny, comedic way, and they all laughed. Like literally, you were going up against a room that sat like you're sitting right now.
Give me money. Like the amount of people who owe me money, like give me money. I was an Opie and Anthony producer, essentially, and personality, in addition to being a Ron and Fez producer and personality. Like I literally was doing both shows. So give me some fucking money, or at least give me the $500 that you owe me for the Biggest Gainer competition, where I put on 30 pounds in a month and yet again defeated all of your loser producers who the highest O&A producer total gain was some kid gained 7 pounds in a month. I put on 25 and he said he would give me $500. Give it to me. And yeah, he did treat me like a jerk from time to time. But whatever.
Too bad you guys said it as a month and not a radio career. They had a couple of producers who could have run circles around you.
The ironic thing is, I'm on the air for 20 straight years.
Yeah.
Between Sirius XM satellite radio and the #1 radio station in New Jersey, WRAT 95.9 FM. Opie will never get a job in radio again. You heard it here first. He will never get a job in radio, nor will Anthony.
I was going to say, of the two, the safer bet would probably be Anthony there, but he doesn't want
None of them. So why I'm only bringing this up is maybe you should have been kinder to people who were really fucking talented and wanted to do anything to please you or at least please your audiences. But instead, he was a backstabbing fucking bitch. Now, I didn't want to go controversy on this episode, but there it is.
And I'll try to save some of the controversy by saying when you went in, even though Norton was like, what are we supposed to do with Dave? And did the whole thing about we don't want fuck twat's opinion on the Middle East. You murdered in front of them, but they laughed and let you win. Like they didn't overreact and they were like, oh, Dave, you killed it. Like,
whoa,
maybe behind the scenes.
Hold on. Nobody let me win. Opie was trying to fucking talk, hit buttons, this and that. No. But that's important. Distinction.
Yeah. My
I came in and fucking destroyed. I basically verbally lit their studio on fire. The amount of talent that I have compared to Opie is fucking insane. You're like looking at a fucking supernova in me next to a fucking pebble with Opie. He can't do shit. Wasn't
So,
going to
yeah.
go controversy on this goddamn podcast, but goddamn it, you got me there.
Anyway, the point I was trying to make before I misspoke was when you did do that in their face despite their best efforts, they didn't then go to management and be like, we got to get rid of this guy. They were like, oh, look how good Dave was. Now, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but it was cool that in the moment, two guys who were in radio for a while were able to look at a situation and go, oh, just because this guy was funnier and wrote better than anybody we have, or the guys we've chosen to be the funny ones, they didn't then retroactively try to take stuff away from you or make you a bad guy because you proved you were funnier than anybody on their staff.
I'm
So,
not
like,
giving
that's-
any credit because they didn't help me either. Like,
No,
in
no.
other words, the amount of shit that I did that benefited them, that where I got nothing in return. Now, listen, we're airtime. Fine. I get it. Airtime, performance, the spotlight, we're all cool. And I'm certainly not like mad. But that rubbed me the wrong way just now. And that's what this show's about, is being real, being honest.
Oh, no.
And I'm not trying to start a fucking fight we just talked about how annoying drama is. But
Yeah, absolutely.
the guy, Opie, still never gave me the $500. And the reason why there was an irritation thing is it was all this stuff of, hey, man, you're super duper talented. You're super talented. Pulling me to the side at Sam's wedding, pulling me to the side at the Patrice O'Neill comedy benefit. At Sam's wedding, Jim, Anthony, no one wanted to be around Opie. They hated him even then. And at Patrice benefit, Jim, Anthony, all of the comedians hated Opie. So the only person he felt safe in even confiding and talking to was me. And because it's, Opie from Opie and Anthony, okay, I'll sit there. And it was constant. You're so talented. You're so talented. Then I find out years later from Anthony that Opie was threatened. And that's why when he found an opportunity to remove the Davey Mac sports program from his channel, he did. Because he knew that I could fucking kick his ass in the entertainment department, which I can. He can't fucking hold a candle to me. Maybe he's okay at building a show. To me, it's he's okay at making sure that he finds a few much funnier people sitting next to him. But whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that's what happened. I guess my whole point was it was just refreshing to see those guys recognize humor and not overreact to a situation when somebody was being funny. But your next character, who I really liked, was Francesa. Sometimes when people do something in humor and write like really well and are funnier than anybody around them, they overreact. And it was nice to see in that moment they didn't do that to you. Now, it sounds like behind the scenes they may have been, but at least not instantaneously. Your next character,
right.
Francesa.
Mike Francesa.
Dave Francesa.
Here comes a radio legend. From sports radio, it's Mike Francesa. He's mic'd up.
I'm Mike Francesa, and this is Mic'd Up. Mic'd Up. Francesa Mike. Derek Jeter named Sportsman of the Year. I'm so lonely without Mad Dog. Lonely, I am. Jeter, year. Sportsman, the. Where's the dog? I was out on the island with Roe and the kids. Kids, Roe, island, out. I was. Said to myself, I wish I owned Secretariat. I wish I could ride a horse. I'd be like Mike John Wayne Francesa. Where's dog, Eddie? Eddie, wake up. Where's dog? Is he coming back? Where's dog? Allen Iverson makes his Sixers Part 2 debut. Debut, 2-part, Sixers, Iverson, Allen, Rowe. Eddie, get me Chernoff on the line. Does he know where dog went? Eddie, wake up. Get Chernoff. Maybe we should put one of those lost dog flyers up, Eddie. Eddie, folks, the idea that Joe DiMaggio would have just automatically, folks, the idea that he would have hit 60 home runs in Fenway is like, Ro and I went Christmas shopping the other day. Used to buy presents for Mad Dog. He got me a Mickey Mail baseball card once. Hey, you think he'll get me a Christmas present this year? Hey, could you tell him I'd like a Yankee sweater? Sweater Yankees I'd like. The idea that Tom Brady is not the same Tom Brady as 2004 Tom Brady, which in my opinion wasn't as good as 2001 Tom Brady, who took a backseat to 2007 Tom Brady, but definitely superior to 2003 Tom Brady, is like, insane. It's like we should get all the Tom Brays together and clone them like Django Fett. Eddie, which one you like better, Django or Boba? Eddie! Eddie! I like Boba better, Eddie, because he reminded me of Mad Dog. Imagine if Mad Dog had a jetpack, Eddie. Eddie, a thought occurred to me. Maybe Mad Dog's in the Sarlacc pit. Get Chernoff to call Jabba and see if Mad Dog's in the Sarlacc pit. Eddie, pit, Sarlacc, Mad Dog, Chernoff. All right, it's been this has been mic'd up with Mike Francesa. Francesa, Mike.
All right, there he goes, and oh geez, look who's come along. It's Dwayne, the guy in favor of torture.
Hey, it's Dwayne, the guy in favor of torture. We got those 9/11 trials coming up in New York City. You know what those guys should get instead of a trial? Torture. Instead of a warm, cozy courtroom, what they really need is their dicks cut off. Try planning a terrorist plot with no dick. I don't think you can. See the assholes started shooting up a community college in Virginia? Lucky no one was killed. Know what they ought to do? Take this guy out and torture him. See how many colleges he feels like shooting up after he's had his dick cut off. The big global warming conference is going on somewhere in Europe. These guys who hate global warming, how are they allowed to walk the streets? They need to be locked up and tortured. Cut their dicks off and let them stand there and tell you how hot it is. It's not going to happen. The movie Avatar is opening soon. I'm telling you, we need to torture those blue guys. Just cut their blue dicks off and all our troubles will go away. I'm telling you. In Cleveland, why hasn't Browns coach Eric Mangini been tortured yet? And someone answer this question. Why does he still have his dick? It should have been cut off sometime around week 7. I'm Dwayne, the guy in favor of torture, and the time for torture is now.
All right, there goes Dwayne, the guy in favor of torture. But it is time for business talk to start. So it's Carlito's Way Business Report.
I'm Carlito Brigante, and this is Carlito's Way Business Report. NASDAQ dropped over 16 points yesterday, Dave. That's a loss. Something you don't know about, climbing. You're just used to the lawyers and monies. What do you know about the NASDAQ, Dave? Keep an eye on the Suzuki Motor Corporation, rose 80 points. They can't teach you that in school, climbing. Can't teach you about Suzuki's on your yacht. Sterling Correctional Facilities in Grinhaven and Sing Sing not been in vain. Now I read the journal, now I know where my money is going, Carlito Business Report. Don't pull your money out of Cisco Systems just yet, Dave. No, it dropped 1.65%, climbing. But I think this stock's a winner. I know you've heard this rap before, Dave, but it's changed. I changed. 5 years to accurately predict the market. You know what that means, Dave? You don't know. Only market you've seen is a supermarket, climbing. And let me tell you, you can't make your money buying eggs, Dave. Last tip. Texas Instruments Incorporated raised its current profit forecast and said revenue would reach the high end of its target, Dave. Could be good for your money, climbing. Maybe use that money to get out. No room in the city for big hearts, Dave. Can't come with me on this trip now. Getting the shakes. Last call for drinks. Bars closing down. Hope the Dow rises. I'm Carlito Brigante. It's been the Carlito's Way Business Report.
There you have it, the Carlito's Way Business Report. But it's kind of exciting because look who's stopping in here today. It's the mother from Precious.
Hey, you! Any of you seen my daughter, Precious? If you do, you tell her to get her fat ass home because I got things to throw at her and hit her with kitchen items. By the way, do you have a frying pan I could borrow to swing at her fat head? I don't know why they call her Precious. Usually something is precious because there's not much of it. I'd call her opposite of precious because there is plenty of her. Her name ought to be Abundance. Abundance, get in here. Let me tell you about my Precious. She's a dummy, don't nobody want her, don't nobody need her, except me around dinner time. And she says I abuse her. Abuse. You want to talk about abuse? Try pushing something that big through your vajayjay. She says she wants to go to school, but I tell her why. They got enough buses there. She's so big she ought to get adopted by that lady from the Blind Side movie. Make Precious into a Baltimore Raven. Now I'm hungry. You plan on putting some food in that frying pan? Oh, and now you're going to sit there and judge me and write those notes on your pad about who you think I am. I need something to eat. I gotta find my daughter Precious so she can boil me a big pot of pork products. Precious! Precious! Get down here!
That was the mother from Precious.
Dave Francesa. Well, I listened to, as I just pointed out, Chris Mad Dog Russo, but really that starts with Mike and the Mad Dog. Chris Mad Dog Russo, Mike Francesa, 20-year radio show in New York. You get it in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, where I am. Listen forever.
ESPN.
Very loyal fan. No, it was WFAN. They had nothing to do with ESPN. Nothing.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
It was WFAN in New York, the very first 24/7, 365 all sports radio station in the United States of America. 1987 is when it was founded. In the entire
87?
country. 87. Wow. Yeah. There had been other things, sports talk shows did exist.
but not 24/7.
Right. You got the old guy, forget what his name was, Bill Mazer on WABC. No, you're not helping me.
I'm trying.
You got Bill Mazer. Well, no, don't try. You get Bill Mazer on WABC. He had a sports show. It was very similar, but no one was doing it all the time. Now, Mike Francesa, I loved. However, I did. Can I tell you what this fucking moron, Rob Cross, who still works at Sirius XM, said? This blind fucking idiot. This blind, he still works there. And when I say blind, folks, he literally can't see. And he's like Mr. Magoo over there. He's like Ralphie from Christmas Story when his stupid glasses comes off and he steps on him because he was shooting a little BB gun. And Rob Cross says to me, I don't understand why you're doing a Mike Francesa impression. I mean, it's local because Sirius XM is in New York, right? I go, local? Local? First of all, dummy, New York City, the #1 media market in the world, is not fucking local. Okay? If it happens in New York, it's national. But beyond that, you stupid idiot, we can play 15 seconds of audio and then go into my impression. It's not about doing a perfect Mike Francesa impression and educating people on some radio host. It's about my character, you dummy. Yeah. So this fucking tool has the audacity to be like, don't do Mike Francesa anymore. No one knows him. A month later, Mike Francesa falls asleep because he was getting his show simulcast on the Yes Network, which is the Yankees TV network. He falls asleep on the air, and he becomes viral, and he becomes a national mainstream fucking thing, which he still is to this day. When people want to look up shitty fucking sports hosts, they look up Mike Francesa. And literally, I was, again, ahead of the curve. But I was told by that fucking dumb, blind jerk-off, Rob Cross, don't do Mike Francesa. Don't do
Hot
him.
cross
Don't
buns.
do him. Anyway, year and a half later, I'm doing a Mike Francesa impression to some fucking guy at Deadspin, and he's like, well, everyone makes fun of Mike Francesa. And I just was like, oh. Because I was on the ground floor yet again. I was making fun of Mike Francesa in the media literally years before anyone else. And had basically Mike Francesa is my, what Jay Moore has with Christopher Walken. No one did Christopher Walken before Jay Moore. He deserves all the credit in the world. No one in the mainstream media was mocking Mike Francesa like me. That's a fact.
Nobody had Bobo doing Bodog.
And this fucking Rob Cross, and he still works there.
Yeah.
He's so blind, he's got a phone. And the numbers, Robert, the numbers are as big as a laptop keyboard. The entire phone basically takes over his desk.
Jesus. What an
It
blind
takes
idiot.
it takes him 4 minutes just to dial in, someone's number. He's got to go to one side of the room and then the other side.
Now, Francesa, classic Dave character. What do you think Fez counters with?
Well, hold on. I got to say one last thing about Mike Francesa. The thing that Ron was tickled by this a little bit because I pointed it out to him. And then he did mention to me one time he put on Yes Network to watch Francesa, and he really does do this. But I told Ron, Mike Francesa basically does 6 hours on the air, and so he knows all the tricks. And one of the tricks is he just inverts the subject and predicate. And he says the exact same sentence twice. And he does this constantly. In other words, he'll say something to the point
Constantly he does this.
Yeah. He go, the Knicks defense is not going to get them to the NBA Finals. Okay? The NBA Finals, the Knicks, they're not getting there with the defense. It's like, didn't you just say those exact words, but you just switched the order around? He does it constantly. Don Mattingly, hit 352 in 1996, and they don't make him the MVP. MVP, Mattingly, 352, 1986. No. And you're like, huh. I guess that's how he's able to do 6 hours on the fan every day.
He takes a nap every 30
he takes
words.
a nap. He says the exact same words. He just switches around the fucking order like it's a goddamn riddle or like he's doing
Spills
Yoda
his Diet Coke. That was a big phase for a while.
Diet Coke. And then my favorite was when he got yelled. He got mad at the Yes Network because he thought they had gone to commercial break. And Mike Francesa, very well-known fat man, in case people don't know what he looks like, and he got caught eating ice cream, and clearly he was on a diet and didn't want his wife, Ro, to see him. And when he sees that they didn't go to commercial break yet, and he's eating the ice cream, he looks up, sees he's on camera, gets mad, and puts a newspaper over the ice cream. And then hits the talk back button and is clearly yelling at the producer in the producer's booth the way, somebody might yell at Roy. I mean, at Earl, at Roy, at Earl. I mean, I'm not talking about Rod. I'm saying like radio stations used to have talkback buttons.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if most studios even have the talkback button anymore, but you used to be able to push that down. While it's pushed down, you could yell at someone and did not go over the air.
Now the producers talk back. There's no button.
Yeah, I guess that's probably why. There's no reason for the talkback button now. Now just on the air, you're like, Earl, what the fuck did you do today?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
can't you do anything right?
Exactly. I loved your Francesa. In this contest, he's really upset because he doesn't know where the Mad Dog is. I guess they had just split up.
Yeah.
And about 30 seconds into the impression, he starts talking about Star Wars, which is Dave leaning into Dave's strength, I think, a bit there.
How do you know? How do you know Mike's not a big fan of the saga? You don't know. Mike Francesa and George Lucas have two of the best sets of hair you'll ever get on two men. I'll give Mike Francesa credit. Gorgeous, full head, luscious hair. Just like George Lucas. The hair, nice and luscious, gorgeous.
But their hair never ruined Easter.
Why don't you get a little wig if you're concerned about your hairline?
What am I, fucking the WOLD DJ? Got a spot on the top of my head just waiting for a new toupee?
Dude, hold on. You're a comedian, yes?
Yeah.
We're going to get you a fucking wig. We're going to get you one of like an old-timey flannel suit, like a red flannel suit, little bow tie. We're going to fucking make you a brand new Henny Youngman for 2024. You're going to be Christ. You're going to do just one-liners. You're going to do Henny Youngman fucking Jesus Christ. This whole goddamn show is about the carousel of characters. I came up with a winner for you. I want you to get rid of all Bobby Tamburo material and becoming Henny Youngman Part 2, and we're gonna get a little wig of like a toupee that for you.
Okay. Fez's character to counter Dave Francesa was let me get the name right here. Wayne, the guy in favor of torture.
Fez
And
and
I
I had
love-
a similarity of one thing, that we like to name our characters exactly what they are.
And this is
So
when
if
Ron
it's
goes,
like-
you guys
yeah.
lean into your thing, don't you?
Well, it's just being up in front and center and being very obvious of what this person's about. I do the same thing, faddles, or just people like Fred, the guy who, So this is Wayne, the guy who what?
In favor of torture.
He's in favor of torture? Okay.
Yeah. I think that might have been a hot button subject at the time, but his whole thing is just taking news stories and being like, I think if we tortured him, we'd solve this. And I love it because Dave Francesa is a classic character. How do you compete with that? Oh, Wayne, the guy who loves torture. It's perfect.
I'm sorry. Wayne, the guy who appreciates torture, does not seem like he is a better character than Dave Francesa, but you never know. I got to hear it.
Some would say Wayne would be in favor of people listening to Dave Francesa.
Sounds like Wayne's in favor of torturing Dave Francesa.
Oh, I just meant. Anyway, we won't expel that out.
Go ahead.
Speaking of sports characters, since we did Francesa, do you remember how or why you had to develop your own sports persona? Not Davey Mac of the Davey Mac sports program, like people are naturally assuming, but cult favorite, Guyerson.
Yeah, I remember Guy Guyerson. I am a massive sports fan, and I did this in my house with the ex-wife there, who said, I guess, bring that to the Ron and Fez show. Because I do all kinds of fucking characters and shit. Am I right about that detail?
I'm pretty sure she even called in and told Ron about it because you wouldn't do it. You weren't confident in the character, according to Ron.
I know. I hadn't prepared the fucking thing yet. I was going to do it. But at this point, I knew what I wanted to do because I'm not on you. I'm on her right now. That she's the one getting me ticked off because Board Gossip, massive hit. And I knew I wanted a produced Guy Guyerson and not just, a fucking guy just talking on a piece of paper. I wanted sound effects. I wanted music. I wanted all the trimmings. So I didn't want to do it.
And a legend.
I didn't want to do it yet for Ron. And so I didn't appreciate that phone call because I was going to do it. All of the little fucking things that make it good weren't in place yet. But nevertheless, I believe Ron appreciated it still.
Ron loved the character, but you weren't supposed to be the sports guy on the show. In fact, Pitsy was hired to be the sports guy on the show. And they had given Pitsy several attempts to do sports talk, and it didn't go well. And then Ron's like, well, I guess we got somebody who can do it. Here's Guy Guyerson.
Hey, we're always looking to add things to the show. We wanted Pitsy to do sports, and apparently that just flopped.
Oh, just an awful attempt, and really no follow-up.
So bad that he hasn't come back. But don't worry, Fez. We got a brand new guy. It's our brand new sports guy.
You love talking sports. He loves talking sports. It's the Sports Editorial with Guy Guyerson.
What's up, Sky?
Ronnie B, Fezzy W, pleasure to be here. Let's get right into it. Let's talk some sports. No time to spare. Last night, Cavs dropped Game 1 to the Spurs 85-76. Nevertheless, I still believe the Cavs will win this series in 7, and that, my friends, is a Guy Guyerson roast beef sandwich guarantee. All right, now look, hey, I give LeBron James all the credit in the world. Kid may win a ring at the age of 22, but let me tell you, Tracy Austin won a women's U.S. championship at the age of 16. That beats you by 6 years, LeBron. All right, so maybe you should give her your crown. Now we're talking some sports. Yanks won last night, grand slam by A-Rod, but you know what? I still can't get over the Yanks and Red Sox series last weekend, where every Joe, Skip, and Terry in the media always calls it the best rivalry in sports. Excuse me, anyone ever hear of Maryland and NC State? All right, Terrapin Pride versus Wolfpack Fever. I'll take that matchup over Yanks and Bo Sox every damn day of the week. Let's talk some sports now. Everybody says Lawrence Taylor this and Phil Simms that. What about number 20, baby, Joe Morris? Lil Joe rushed for over 1,000 yards in the 86 championship year, all while being 5'7". You may not want Lil Joe dusting your ceiling at that height, but you sure as heck fire want him carrying the ball for you. You want to win a Super Bowl, God bless you, put number 20 behind your offensive line, the forgotten giant. That's Joe Morris. Let's talk some sports. Shh. Forget about Nicholas and Palmer. You want a real golf champion, I'm going to give you 3 words. Chi-Chi Rodriguez. Making putts, sword fighting. I never seen Tiger Woods imitate a swashbuckler. Mr. Rodriguez, you may not be at the top of championships or career earnings, but you're a birdie in the heart of America. Don't you forget in sports talking. Yastrzemski, Ted Williams, I say, forget both of them. Sweetest left-handed hitter for the Sox was Fred Lynn. Number 19 could hit a cherry off a Sunday. I don't know if he's dead or alive, but wherever Freddie Lynn is, hopefully he knows deep down that he's the best doggone hitter New England's ever seen. Who loves sports talk? You give me one tennis player who has to win a match for me with my life hanging in the balance, I'm taking Stefan Edberg. Volley, serve, volley some more. Edberg could chew up Connors and Borg alive if he wanted to, and then spit them out into a Wimbledon spittoon if he wanted. Now we're talking some sports. And that's Guy Guyerson for the sports editorial saying keeping the ball between the lines is how you have to be. Stay tuned next week. We got Manny Trio, Kiki Vandeweghe, and Mark Rippin talk all on the way. Talking some sports.
Thanks, Red. Hey, wasn't it Guyerson before? Is it Guyerson now?
Guy Guyerson is the way I pronounce my name, Ron. You had it right on
hard to tell. Oh, let's see. Kevin, you're on Fez.
What's up, buddy? Was that Tony Reale?
It did sound like him. Here's Will. Will, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, Ron. Guy's pretty good, but he can't hold a candle to Tony Reale.
Thanks. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Hey, it's our buddy Indy Mike. Won't you be brother? Hey, Mike, what do you got for us, buddy?
Hey, love Guy Guyerson. Is he going to be every day?
I'm not sure how often we're going to do Guy Guyerson.
Maybe weekly. That could be a good
Are you still here, Guy?
Oh, hi, Guy. I just came in. They told me to come back into the studio to talk some sports. I thought we were doing some sports talking here.
That was short.
Wow. Quick.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be every day. But from time to time, G-Man, you're on Fez.
That was the best fucking bit that redheaded loser's ever done. The only one he's ever pulled off well.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is Guy Guyerson. This is Sports Talking.
There it is. Here's Kevin. Kevin, you're on Fez.
Yeah, I love the Guy Guyerson thing since we don't have any more Fez editorials or Nature Boys or Caddy Moments.
Yeah, that is true. What happened with you, Fez?
Yeah, I haven't had those in a while.
See.
Getting catty.
What? Mike, you're on Fez.
Hey, that's the best thing Dave's ever done. See you.
There it is. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Dizzy's been eating for 2.5 hours. It's driving me insane. What time are we eating, Fez?
3:30.
Fuck, that's too long.
3:30 in the east.
That's too long. I know what time zone I'm in. You don't have to throw in the east for me. Randy, you're on Fez.
Big ass 307, buddies.
Hey, long time, Randy. What are you up to, pal?
I was shocked that Guy Guyerson didn't bring up Helter Skelter at least one time during that.
Now whoever's Alex gets that. Scott, you're on Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Guy Guyerson come out to a Willie Nelson song? See ya!
Well, because Guy Guyerson has this.
You love talking sports. He loves talking sports. It's the Sports Editorial with Guy Guyerson.
Hey, Scott, you're on Fez. Well, I lost you. Hey, Steve, you're on Fez.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Loving the Guy Guyerson. This has been a phone call.
Thank you.
You love talking sports. He loves talking sports. It's the Sports Editorial with Guy Guyerson.
Here's John. John, you're on Run Fez.
Hey guys, Fezzy, glad to hear you back. Listen, I think Guyerson should really be the person marrying Casey.
Casey's not my cup of tea. I'm more of a Nancy Lopez type of guy. You know, hits an 8-putter all the time, 21 championships on the LPGA Tour.
Guy, we appreciate it, but we're going to bring Dave back in.
Sports talking.
Sports. There you go.
There you go.
Goodbye, Guy.
Guy.
Goodbye, Guy.
So long, heavyweight.
What was his stinger?
You like talking sports? He likes talking sports. It's Guy Guyerson talking sports. And by the way, the one time I'll give some an O&A producer credit, I forget who it was. They got Chris Mad Dog Russo to do that line.
They did get Mad Dog to do it.
They got Chris Mad Dog Russo. They got, you like talking sports? He likes talking sports. It's Guy Guyerson. But yeah, Guy Gyerson's the whole point. The whole point was he was one of these what's his face? He used to be on First Take years ago, but before it was the success that it is now. Chip, right? What's the guy? He's on Fox Sports.
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless. Colin Cowherd. All of these fucking guys. They're all pale imitations of Mike and the Mad Dog. Let's just be honest. And I wanted a fucking sports talk guy who was kind of mocking them, but also going a little bit retro, doing, he always thought everything was better in the past because you heard a lot about that. For instance, like this was an era where Bob Costas now had officially gotten old and was just constantly bringing up how much better baseball was in the 70s and 80s. And you're like, actually, fuck you, Bob. It wasn't better in the 70s and 80s. Guys were fucking winning like batting titles, hitting like 279. What do you mean it was better in 1975? No, it wasn't, Bob. So I was doing that. It was inspired by the fucking Costases, the Skip Baylesses, and that type of bullshit.
All that and a roast beef sandwich. Where did that come from?
What? Is that a line
His
that Guy
catchphrase.
Guyerson said?
I thought it was his catchphrase. It's all that and a roast beef sandwich.
I mean, he said it once, but the catchphrase was really talking sports, I think. I don't know. I don't
You
think
like
that
sports.
was a catchphrase.
You like sports.
How many of Guy Gyerson's did you listen?
A bunch.
Oh, did he say that on more than one occasion?
I would love to tell you yes or no, but definitely didn't just listen to the Origin episode.
That was not his fucking catchphrase, you stupid
Guy
idiot.
Guyerson, here he is with his classic roast beef sandwich.
No, there was nothing about sandwiches that were his catchphrase. You're
Guy Guyerson, I like roast beef.
You're supposed to be the research fucking guy. What the hell? What are you doing over there?
I am the research guy, Dave. I'm all that and a roast beef sandwich.
All right, now listen.
Now, did Guy Guyerson die when the Davey Mac sports program was born? Or, were they rivals?
No, I've thought about doing Guy Guyerson, actually. I've thought about it, but it's never made much sense. I did do Guy Guyerson at the wedding on stage.
Okay.
So that was one time where Guy Guyerson was performed, but I was obviously still
For the
working
masses,
for the
yeah.
Ron Fez show. So, yeah, I guess Guy Guyerson really hasn't popped up anywhere. Maybe Guy Guyerson could return. I heard that Board Gossip has made a return on a show.
Has it really?
Yeah. And I got a message from the person said, hey, you should do their show. They've resurrected Board Gossip. And I'm like, I don't think you can resurrect someone else's bit. Isn't that kind of like, I don't know, taking their bit? You can't really resurrect. I couldn't resurrect doing a Fezzatorial is what I'm saying. That was Fez's. I can't resurrect that. I can't resurrect doing a Ric Flair impression. That's
Some
Fez
say
Whatley's impression. So
resurrection might be the only way to save that show.
But maybe the person who gave me the message was wrong, and maybe it was a tribute. Maybe it was a tribute. Sometimes people just don't know how to relay the messages. So I'm not all upset or crazy or getting upset. I'm not starting any drama. But I just thought that was kind of funny.
That is kind of interesting. I don't know if I'd use the word funny, because if you're not doing Board Gossip, I'd find it hard to imagine it's funny. But that's just me. You know, I'm a big Dave fan.
Fair enough.
You said you were staying away from controversy. Let's steer into it. Guy Guyerson, Chip Chipperson.
Yeah, Guy Guyerson was first. Guy
Guyerson.
No. Oh yeah.
Any beef with that?
No, because it wasn't Jim Norton who came up with the name for Chip Chipperson. Jim Norton just had the name Chip, and I think he was just going to leave it as Chip. But I believe it was Opie who called him Chip Chipperson. I'm almost positive on that. It was Opie who started calling himself Chip Chipperson because, of course, Opie saw what kind of fucking ridiculous talent I am and, you know, things that Davey Mac does. Let's make sure we do them over here on this side of the virus. So, Chip Chipperson after Guy Guyerson, by the way. Facts of life. Boom. And to that fucking guy who was, all you do is brag on your show. This is why, dickweed. Now you're seeing that I'm first. Time and time again. I do things first. And maybe, in addition to reminiscing happily about some of these experiences, I'm going to point out how many times I'm fucking first and before anyone else, like the Pat McAfees of the world, who just fucking, you know, take my personality and run with it. Anyway, go ahead.
No, that was pretty much, that was the question and answered.
Yes,
Opie did rip the name off.
Opie was the one who introduced the last name of Chipperson.
Now, we are going to go to a couple of characters here. We're just going to hit them quickly, though, because we have Kleiman, the stock guy. You remember him at all?
No. This got to be Siren Series guy?
Yeah, it was a Siren Series. And
what was his name?
Kleiman.
Kleiman? All right. Well, what does he do? I don't remember this at all.
He was an African American who gave stock tips. He had an old-timey black voice and was just
and his name was Kleiman, like the stocks are climbing.
Yeah, exactly. It was good. It was very but it wasn't like a memorable. It didn't become regular, but it was just a fun character.
It doesn't sound it. Yeah, no, it doesn't sound it. I have no memory of Kleiman, the stock man.
To which Fez countered with the mother from Precious. He just kept being like, "Stop feeding my baby."
So we both did black characters back.
I think Fez was like, "I bet you I can out black Dave."
You're not allowed to do that anymore. Ever since The Simpsons and Apu, no one can do voices of anyone anymore. We're very, sensitive about that these days. No voices. No one do any voices.
And especially if you were to do like an accent, that would be.
You have to look exactly like the person in order to do voices. So for me, I'm only allowed to do Hornswoggle, the little person wrestling from the WWE. And sometimes when I'm in fighting shape, Ewan McGregor, I can do an impression of him.
And I can do a racist Jonah Hill. Because that's what the next character who I really liked was Brian Gumble doing real porn.
Oh, that's awesome. Now that is good. I used to love watching Real Sports. I couldn't believe that they said it. Did you know it ended on HBO? It just ended. 30-year run.
No. Is that because all the sports are fake now?
Show why would they need to end that?
Because it's fake.
It's a fucking monthly show. I don't understand.
Maybe Brian's old?
Get a new host. I'll do HBO Real Sports. You cocksuckers. The first episode will be an expose on how much Brian Gumble sucks. And by the way, there's a lot of truth to that.
That's what they wanted to do.
People don't even know how much he fucking threw Willard Scott under the bus by calling Willard Scott lazy. In a memorandum he wrote to NBC executives 30 years ago, he said Willard Scott is lazy.
That's what they wanted to do, was have you replace him and do an expose, but Brian Gumble said they couldn't resurrect the bit. They could only do a tribute.
I can't imagine how my Brian Gumble impression even sounded, because I don't really do a Brian Gumble. Brian Gumble here for Real Sports. Hello, Brian Gumble. It sounds something like that.
It was
Brian
kind of
Gumble.
similar, little less silly. Like it was kind of a more plain
No,
voice.
I'm trying to be not silly. This was me not being silly. Brian Gumble here.
I'm
for Real
sorry.
Sports. Tonight on Real Sports. Oh yeah,
Real
that's
porn.
what we always do. Yeah,
Real
tonight
porn.
on Real Porn. Lisa Ann gets double dicked.
Oh, that was the stinger. You got Bronx Johnny definitely borrowed the stinger from you for his thing.
Sextravaganza. Yeah, some of those elements were already in.
And Brian Gumble got countered with a classic Fez character, inappropriate Santa Claus.
So
I mean, it's just
we're doing black, and then sex fiend.
Fez went second for a reason, and honestly, on these two, it may have been evident why.
I think that was a big mistake because now he's constantly the one who's behind me. I do a black character. He does a black character. If he had gone first, the Siren Series results could have been different.
I think the Siren Series results would have been what they were regardless. But that's just me and a fan of you and Fez and the whole radio show. And we've still got one of Davey's classic characters. Actually, we've got two of Davey's classic characters when we come back from this brief commercial break.
And look who's coming in now. It's Bryant Gumbel with Real Porn.
Good evening. I'm Brian Gumble. And tonight,
keep sucking.
And tonight on HBO's Real Porn, Bernie Goldberg visits the Valley and gets a job as a fluffer. This expose promises to be quite cummy.
Keep sucking.
Then we have a heartwarming story about a man in a wheelchair who lost his legs in a fishing accident, yet still finds time to jerk off to hardcore porn that features other cripples.
Keep sucking.
Following that, Frank DeFord profiles 82-year-old Dick Strong, world's oldest gay porn star. It's just an interesting tale of an old man who still likes blowjobs. Watch as he and Frank engage in sodomy.
Keep sucking.
Next, we have Armin Katane's update on clown porn. People who dress up as clowns. And then we have intercourse. I, for one, can't wait to jack off while watching the segment.
Keep sucking.
After that, Mary Carrillo tapes herself getting fucked by a horse. I sell it on the street for $15.
Keep sucking.
I'm Brian Gumble. This has been HBO's Real Porn.
Keep sucking.
There goes Brian Gumbel. And seemed like a SCTV to me. It's very, very subtle. Very nice. Uh-oh. This happens every Christmas. It's the inappropriate Santa.
Ho, ho, ho! Hi, boys and girls! It's Inappropriate Santa! I just came from the North Pole where I've been very busy. Ho, ho, ho! I've been making toys, getting my sleigh ready, and filming bestiality porn starring the reindeer. Ho, ho, ho! That Cupid's gonna be quite the star. I'm gonna end up losing her full time to the animal porn industry. I'm here to make sure all the little boys and girls get what they want for Christmas. Ho, ho, ho! You know what would be a fun toy? A Barbie doll that masturbates herself. Even I would play with that for hours. Ho, ho, ho! And I want to remind the children that I'm going to come deliver toys to each and every one of them this Christmas Eve. Except for the burn victim children. They skeeve, Inappropriate Santa. It's bad enough coming down a chimney, but I swear I can still smell the burnt hair and skin. It's enough to make me puke up my cookies that they left for me. Ho, ho, ho! But I love it when the boys and girls all sit on my lap and tell me their heart's desire for Christmas. And it doesn't matter how rich or poor they are, or how smart they are in school, or even if they've been good or bad. They all get me hard sitting on my lap. Ho, ho, ho! The way they all squirm around so nervously, they just rub my candy cane the right way. And there's someone I know who is on the naughty list this year. That's Mrs. Claus, who started my day with a hearty rim job. What could I say? She loves burying her face in some Claus ass. Well, I'm off back to the North Pole. Today we're gambling on elf fights. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Bye, Inappropriate Santa. Bye. See you next year. Hey, everybody, if you love Southern fried blue-collar comedy, and who doesn't, you're going to be crazy about Davey Red.
Yeah! Good evening, everybody. I'm Davey Red, Southern comedian. Let it be known. My brother Scooter's a real piece of work. He says to me, Davey, you know what I don't like about Mexicans? I said to him, what, Scooter? He says, the fact that they're from Mexico. Let it be known. My wife's always on my case. She says to me, Davey, you don't make love to me anymore the way you used to. I said, honey, that's because 2 reasons. Number 1, you got fat. Number 2, I'm fucking your sister. Let it be known. This president's something else. Other day I saw a picture of him at the White House. I said to myself, how would that black guy get elected anyway? Let it be known. Speaking of blacks, my brother Scooter's a little off kilter. He says to me a couple nights ago, Davey, you know what I don't like about the blacks? I said, what, Scooter? He said, the skin color. Let it be known. Kids are just running wild these days. The other day, my son threw a tantrum when I wouldn't buy him an Xbox. I said to him, stop throwing a tantrum or I'll take my belt off and give you so many welts people will think you're entering a Rocky Dennis lookalike contest. Let it be. My mother-in-law really gets on my nerves. The other day she said, Davey, do you know CPR? I'm having trouble breathing. I said to her, my house, my rules. Now die already, bitch. I'm trying to watch the Sooners game. My brother Scooter really doesn't like Asians. Let him out! I'm Davey Red, Southern comedian. Let it be known.
There goes Davey Red, the Southern comedian, getting, I guess, lukewarm applause there. I thought it would be better. But seems
maybe
like
Davey Red should have pulled a better applause drop.
Uh-oh. Never expected to see this come onto the show. It's Fez's heart.
Hi, I'm Fez's heart. I'm sorry I'm so out of breath. I'm just so thirsty. Does anyone have any water? I've had nothing but bacon grease to drink for 2 weeks straight. I am exhausted. Fez was just looking at some papers. I don't know why paper has to be so heavy. It's horrible. Oh, wait a minute. Did I just stop beating? I stopped beating, didn't I? Wait, there it is. Okay, we're okay. You know what really wears me out? All the breathing. Think about it. It's nonstop. Inhale, exhale, struggle to inhale, exhale. It goes on all day. I never get a break. You would think all the ice cream would help, but it doesn't. Not one bit. And the nervousness doesn't help either. Fez's cable went out and he had me beating like I was running a marathon. I constantly feel like I'm gonna explode, and I never know what's gonna do it. Everything is a shock. A family member could die, or Fez gets the wrong change at a store, and I'm thumping just the same. It's not easy being Fez's heart. The only cardiovascular I get is when he's turning the pages of a comic book. A double issue is a real workout. But I get plenty of vegetables, just as long as he remembers to order green peppers on the pizza. As long as the blood's flowing, I'm fine. Unfortunately, trying to get blood through these arteries is like trying to get Kirstie Alley through a size 2 tube top. Hey, did I stop beating again? I did. I'm dead, right? Right?
That was Fez's cry for help. I mean, Fez's heart.
Dave is back. Dave, why don't you give us a little taste of Dave Francesa? I don't think we heard you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps he loves Silk City hot sauce and wants you to use promo code RIDER to buy it so Rob doesn't get evicted.
Well, here's the point, folks. The thing that we're doing this, Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite here is, the only way to keep these things, pay for the streaming services and the iTunes and the broadcasting fees and whatnot is, by making some money. And the key to that is a great sponsorship, okay? And there ain't no better sponsor, okay, than Silk City hot sauce, okay? Sauce City Silk Hot. Silk City hot sauce is the most delicious, okay, hot sauce you're ever gonna have, okay? It's got spice, okay, and it's got flavor, okay? It reminds me of Mickey Mantle in 1956. because I think of Silk City hot sauce, okay? And I think flavor, I think spice, I think taste. Those are 3 categories, and just like the Mick, they hit for the Triple Crown. Okay? Just go look it up. All right, the Mick. And when we talk about Silk City hot sauce, okay, we're talking Silk City hot sauce, 2024. Okay, Silk City hot sauce 2024, best hot sauce. It's not 1987 or 1989. Okay, maybe 1989 you have some other kind. Okay, but it's not 1989. It's not 1979, 1969. Okay, in 2024. Okay, in 2024, it's Silk City hot sauce, the #1 hot sauce. Okay, when I think of Silk City hot sauce, I think of Ron Guidry, 1978, Cy Young winner, 25-3.
Okay.
The point is, you want a hot sauce like Ron Guidry, Louisiana Lightning. Okay, the Gator. You want that kind of hot sauce, 1978 Guidry, or do you want Carlos Rodon from 2023, ERA of above 6? Okay, you don't want that.
No, I don't think I want that.
Wait,
how would I save money?
Robert, you want the Guidry hot sauce or the Rodon hot sauce?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know these preferences.
All right, Eddie, get him off the line. Hold on. I'm gonna I gotta get him off the line. Eddie, get Bobby off the line. Because if you have any hesitation about Silk City hot sauce being the #1 hot sauce, if you have any hesitation, then I want him off the line, Eddie. Eddie Scazzeri, by the way, on the other side of the glass. Thank you, Eddie. Silk City hot sauce is the way to do it. Use the promo code RIDER. RIDAR. I don't know why it can't be Dave Francesa. Seems like Silk City hot sauce has made their minds up on which carousel or character they like best. I don't know if I gotta hold on. I'm gonna get on the phone with my agent, Bob Levy, and say, and not that Bob Levy, not the comedian. This is my actual agent, Bob Levy. His name is Robert Levy, okay, but I call him Bob. Can you get me on the promo code? What? Okay, listen, folks, I'd like to launch into an anti-Semitic rant right now, but that's not good for live reads. It just isn't, okay? For live reads, no good. Silk City hot sauce, promo code, RIDER, promo code, sauce, silk, hot. I'm Dave Francesa saying it's Silk City hot sauce or nothing, America. Goodbye.
Go fuck yourselves, America. Great, Francesa. Gotta love it.
Patriotic ending from Mike. I don't know why he was saluting so much.
He loves America and Silk City hot sauce. Two great things.
Did you ever hear when Mike Francesa and Chris Mad Dog Russo got in trouble for possible anti-Semitic speeches or, talk after 9/11?
No, because they were.
It was crazy.
What did they do?
Well, a guy called in and like a caller was like, they were just discussing stuff and talking about it. And the guy's like, this is very bothersome, but, all in all, we also have to, I have more loyalty towards Israel than America. And now this is crazy that this is happening on Sports Talk, but you have to remember post 9/11, in the immediate aftermath, no one was doing their shows. I mean, they were doing their shows, but they weren't doing their content. Mike and the Mad Dog weren't
nothing to talk about.
Sports.
Yeah, other than that.
Yeah, they weren't talking sports. They were talking 9/11. And Mike Francesa's like, okay, I don't understand. Okay, you'd be more loyal to Israel than America. Okay. Anyway, this actually got big time fucking coverage, and I believe they said they have deleted it from the WFAN archives forever.
what was Bush doing during this period? Get out there and pardon Francesa. Like, what the fuck? American City got attacked, and they were like, you know who I don't understand why you wouldn't be more loyal to the country you live in than something because of your heritage. It's just fucking nuts. My boy Francesa, ride or die.
The thing about Mike and the Mad Dog is they really only know how to talk sports. The second they deviate from that, they go into a bad territory. They absolutely should never be discussing modern day politics. Neither of them. Seriously. The other thing that they shouldn't be discussing, they can watch movies and discuss movies, but they should be discussing, your Remember the Titans and things like this. I will never forget Mike and the Mad Dog talking about the Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Magnolia. And because they were talking about, movies that had been nominated for Oscars.
Movie.
And yeah, they've been talking about movies that were nominated for Oscars. And Mad Dog's like, I don't even understand it, Mike. At the end of the movie, frogs came down flying. It was raining frogs. Is this some kind of supernatural movie? Or what are we doing here? Dog, one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. Folks, do not see Magnolia. Under any circumstances, I will personally give you the $15. Okay, to do something else. I mean, he's not wrong, folks. All of a sudden, the frogs were flying out of the sky, and they're kind of wondering what kind of movie is that? Anyway, they just don't understand any kind of different movie. It's got to be a nice mainstream Hollywood movie for the old Mike and the Mad Dog. Your Forrest Gump. They're going to love your Forrest Gump. But I guarantee you that same year, they did not see Pulp Fiction.
In our infamous Brando versus Sandler debate, which side do you think Francesa's taking?
They're you know what? Godfather. You got to remember, two guys from Long Island.
Okay, all right. I thought Francesa liked simple movies like me, because everything you said about him so far, I love. He's pro-America, and he hates confusing movies.
No, I'm going more like we just said, like you're Hoosiers, you're Rocky.
Fast and the Furious.
No,
there's a clear-cut good guy and a clear-cut bad guy.
Because you're going way too modern. You gotta go for when you're talking Mike and the Mad. It's gotta be nice and big and mainstream America. Back to the Future. Guarantee you they love that fucking shit. Although Mike Mad Dog may have gotten a little confused because he's like, I don't understand. Is it a DeLorean or is there a spaceship? Is it a spaceship that looks like a DeLorean? And how come I have to go 88 miles an hour? What happened if it goes 89? Is it going to incinerate?
I don't understand.
I love those guys.
I love you, Dave, man. And I love your next character, who's both kind of a personality, very funny, and could be a hot sauce flavor. And that's Davey Red.
Either. Well, I'm going to do some, I'm trying to get a variety show done, Fezzy, with some, what I like to call Southern fried comedy. That's my big thing. Mm-hmm. I like to bring in the blue-collar comedians and just let them just give it a rip. Real Southern stuff. I want to bring out one of my guys right now, if you don't mind. Please welcome to the Southern Fried Variety Special, Davey Red. Davey Red, everybody.
Woo-hoo! Thank y'all very much. Davey Red, Southern comedian in the trailer. Let it be known. Thank you. I wasn't even a joke there. Hey, glad Sarah Palin didn't win. We don't need a VP who likes getting banged in the ass by the president. No offense, Dan Quayle, let it be known. Don't understand why everyone likes this Nintendo Wii. My kids showed it to me the other day. I was bored to tears. Told them, screw the Wii, I'd rather jerk off in the bathroom. Let it be known. My friend Ty has a problem. Gambling problem, actually. Other day, he said, Davey, I just won $500. I said, how'd you get it? He said, I bet that my dad would meet an untimely death. Yesterday, Ma paid off with the will money. Let it be known! My dog's real lazy. Brought him to the vet. Said, Doc, why is he so lazy? Doc said, because he lost his hind legs to gangrene. Let it be known. My Uncle Gil hates Hare Krishna people. I said, is it because they ring your doorbell? He said, no, it's because I ran 2 of them over with my truck, and now they haunt me in my sleep. Let me know! Some people always gotta be right. Was watching Maury, and this one woman said, I may be fat, but my boobs speak for themselves. I go, yeah, and they're saying we are 2 disgustingly fat titties. Let it be known. Oh yes, thank you all so much. My mother's always going on and on about something. Other day she calls me and says, Davey, if I miss one more payment on the house, they're gonna take it away and put me on the street. I said, Ma, remember when I was 8, you broke my piggy bank to buy a 6-pack of Schlitz? She said, uh-huh. I said, good luck with that homeless thing, let it be known. Thank you all so much. Davey Red, Southern comedian in here. Let it be known.
Yeah, I'm losing any sense of humor about that piece.
I don't get Davey Red.
Well, do you get any of the Southern comedians?
No. And with that one, I didn't get the dog joke, the jerk-off joke, or the titties joke.
That's the point. That is the point.
Those Southern comedians just have a strange style.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, Davey Red, comedian, Southern comedian.
Southern comedian.
I remember
Clearly a member of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, I believe.
Exactly. It was.
Remember his catchphrase?
Let it be known. That was his catchphrase. I remember Davey Red very well because Davey Red, with the color, was based on Ron White, the comedian.
Oh.
Nice and simple. Nice and simple. It was like Davey Red. I mean, it was like Ron White, and then maybe a little bit of Jeff Foxworthy in there. But more Ron White, and you're 100% right. It was all because what was it called? The Southern
Blue
Rednecks
Collar
of
Comedy Tour. Blue Collar Comedy Tour, man.
Blue Collar Comedy Tour was massive at the time. So Davey Red wanted in on that. And quite frankly, I think Davey Red could have been the headliner, but I never got a call from either Foxworthy or Ron White.
So Larry the Cable Guy was the last one added to that tour right before they blew up, and the guy he bumped was Earl David Reed, who you can see me featuring for this Friday and Saturday in Pennsylvania.
And Larry the Cable Guy, a Ron Bennington discovery. You're aware of that, right?
No way. He's the radio show. That's the show that Larry would call?
Yes.
No fucking way. The Ron and Ron show?
Yeah, Ron was the guy who discovered Larry the Cable Guy, maybe even came up with the name for a sketch, almost like, Fuck Twat the Clown. But it would almost be as if I parlayed my entire life into being Fuck Twat the Clown, which I don't think I'd have great success, but Larry the Cable Guy certainly did.
So the story, as I know it, is Larry is one of those guys who would call into radio shows and maybe get paid or do a character. And he did Larry once, and one show pulled him and was like, "That's your comedy act." Is this? So that was wrong.
Ron. Yes.
Holy shit, Dave!
Oh, you
I had
didn't
no
know that?
idea.
Yes.
God, we got to make some
Ron who
calls
did that.
and unburn
Yes.
some bridges. ASAP.
Seriously, why can't Larry the Cable Guy fucking give us some money? You know what we're actually
help, Larry.
Wait, hold on. You know what Robert and I would really like? To the J Moores, to the Nortons, to the Opies and Anthonys, to the Ronnie Whites. If you're not, just give us money.
Yeah.
Okay? Just give us cold, hard cash. Robert and I will be so complimentary towards
We are
you.
up for bribe. Yep.
We will.
Will not take much.
We feel like, I feel like I'm owed it. I'm owed some cash from SiriusXM. Give me some fucking money. All right?
And you know how hurt people, like we've learned from the Nickelodeon thing? Like, I'm putting up with the damaged Dave. So I would like some of that money too.
That's right. We need a little cash. Give me and Robert $150,000 for year one. And then for the next 10 years after that, we will be cool with $90,000 every year after that. Okay?
In perpetuity.
Yeah. But that's cutting you guys a break.
Real
Doing
deal.
Five. Yeah, I mean, 5 digits. But yeah,
one episode a month.
One episode.
That's what they get for $150,000. Yeah, no biggie.
Yeah,
that was Davey Red.
I'll do an entire show dedicated to my love of whoever bribes me the best. That will be it. And wouldn't you want that? Like if you're a comedian, a radio star, just fuck. If you're a teacher, if you're like a 5th grade math teacher and you pay me that fucking cash, you're going to have a goddamn podcast about how awesome you are. I'd be like, Mrs. Rhinestone is the best. No one knows how to teach goddamn trigonometry like her.
And she's not ugly.
No.
I'm just trying to help.
No,
So,
I will absolutely, physical compliments will come free of charge.
Honestly, audience, get ready for a Paul O episode when he gives us the money and goes, don't worry about where I got it. But Davey Red, classic character. A number of times when I do stand-up, you tell me you've done stand-up. Was this your Davey Red character, or were you just doing stand-up as Dave? Like, did you ever go on stage as Davey Red?
No, I never went on stage as Davey Red. I got invited twice to do stand-up comedy by Colin Quinn. And both times I was introduced by Louis J. Gomez, which is interesting. Oh, no. I was invited by Robert Kelly. That was it. It was
That
Robert
makes
Kelly
sense, yeah.
who invited me because I was a part of Riotcast at the time with Davey Mac Sports Program. And both times you could see those things on YouTube. World's Worst Comedian, Davey Mac. But, yeah. Oh, go check that out, Robert. You're going to love that. You feel free to take any kind of Star Wars jokes from that set. Both sets, plenty of Star Wars jokes.
That's classic Dave, lean into what he knows. I love it.
I like doing the stand-up guys because between Davey Red and Happy Henny Youngman, which was basically Henny Youngman if he was a happy person, instead of like, take my wife, please, he was like bragging about how nice his wife was. He's like, hey, I love my wife.
That's pretty
Instead
good.
of take my wife, please. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I get lots of respect.
Exactly. That was
Yeah,
another
that's good.
Game War favorite. But I love Davey Red. I loved all these fucking people.
Now, Davey Red, classic character. What's the only way Fez could counter it? Was something so abstract, so unique. What Ron called as Fez's cry for help, his character was Fez's heart.
Oh, no. Really?
He came in and was
That's a good character. See, that's
anybody
a good
have some water? All I get is bacon grease. It was brilliant. Did I
That's
just
what he
stop?
said?
Oh, I mean, like, it was very much a self-aware Fez being like, why do I get so much anxiety from hearing bad news as a family member dying? Like, very, like, you were getting some inner thoughts of Fez, but it worked for the bit, man, and it really killed.
That's hysterical. That's fucking great.
It's a classic Fez. It's what we loved about Fez. He took his life, even when he was at his lowest, and going through the worst shit in the world and made it entertaining, even if it wasn't in the way you would consider classically killing or doing a good radio show. It was brilliant listening because he was one of the best, if not the. I think you very much take that legacy on. We're going to learn a little bit more about that in the next coming episode. But before we get there, one last aspect. I don't know if this was as much a character, but when we initially said the episode was best of the bits, one thing I see in comments all the time, one thing people continually bring up, and the last thing we're going to cover on this episode is Davey Mac, the Invention Guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know me, Robert. I got lots and lots of ideas, and I still have lots of invention ideas. And what I do is I love watching Shark Tank. Shark Tank is a great show. I love it. And I feel like I could have had 8 or 9 or 10 goddamn products on Shark Tank. You know how successful Nizzers is. I have to be very careful when I say it. And maybe I should have called it something different. But Nizzers is a combination of knife and scissors.
You need to open a box, but what should you use? Scissors or a knife?
Don't worry, it's the nizzards.
They cut so fast.
And oh so smooth.
Your paper and shirt tags.
And pork chops too. No, nizzards. Nizzards. It's the nizzards.
Ever need a scissor? Only got a knife? Well, here's a nizzer, sister, for a better life.
No, nizzards. Nizzards.
2 knives that are connected to make up a pair of scissors.
Oh, I was making crochet, then I got a steak.
And now I cut away with nizzers, make no mistake.
Nizzards. Nizzards. All the ladies say, hey.
Hey.
Ho.
Ho.
Go nizzards, go nizzards, go. Go nizzards, go nizzards, go. Scissors in a knife.
And knife in a scissor.
Don't add more strife to your life.
Just get nizzers, gizzer.
Nizzards. Nizzards.
Easily plastic detachable and safety guards for your kids.
It's the nizzards.
I am not joking when I say at least twice a year, someone will message me on Facebook, Twitter, etc. about, oh my God, look, they've done your nizzers. Yep. Like the actual nizzers is perfectly executed, where my whole point was 2 knives that are fucking clipped in so that if you need a knife, you detach them, you need a knife. You need scissors, you put them together and you cut, right? Because anytime you need to open up a box of meat, you need both. You need the fucking scissor for the cardboard box. Then you need the knife to cut open the plastic and cut the meat. How else are you going to fucking open boxed meat without a pair of nizzers?
A knife. But I get your point. Convenience.
You can't open up the meat with a knife. Well, maybe.
Why not? Yeah, it's just half a scissors.
All right, but how about the box? How are you going to get the box open, smart guy?
The tape with, like I would any other box with a knife?
Scissors.
Okay, fair enough. I feel like maybe Ronnie brought some of those points up, and that's why I was being so resistant. It was just in my head. But this isn't what we're here to talk about. Sharks, Davey Mac is here seeking $50,000 for a 100% ownership in his company of Davey Mac's Jack and Ride.
Oh, yeah. What a goddamn... Jack and Ride.
Yeah, the Jack and Ride.
Is that what I called it?
I don't think that's what you called it.
Well,
history would become known by history as Davey Mac's Jack and Ride.
Okay.
Davey Mac had a big idea yesterday. I did not even know this about him, but you see yourself as an idea man.
Yes, I do, Mr. B.
And this is not made up. This is totally serious.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know all these inventions that your little mind comes up with.
Right. Well, I have a lot of spare time, and I like to come up with ways to make society better. Mm-hmm. And I realized on my commute that the society, it was going too long. So, what if we came up with an 80-person helicopter, a chopper?
What?
Okay, think about it like this. A chopper that can hold 80 people.
What's the biggest helicopter we have now?
It can hold about 5
What
or
is
6.
that, one of those Apaches, maybe?
It can hold. It's small numbers.
Right.
This is the point. Why do helicopters have to be so small? What we do is we put all the money into
Maybe so they can stay in the air.
No, just get a bigger propeller.
This makes me feel safe.
No, come on.
So we're talking about
Hear it out.
A helicopter that just has like 80 seats.
Exactly. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it lifts up.
Are we talking about 8 rows of 10 or 10 rows of 8?
We're going to be talking about 8 rows of 10.
What about this? 20 rows of 4. It's just those real long, thin helicopters.
No, that's too much.
What's this going to be called? Danger Copter?
No. Come on. Let's
get in the Danger Copter, everybody.
This has got a legit name.
Lucky me, I'm number 80.
Davey Mac's Travel Chopper.
Okay.
It's a totally legit name, and this is why.
No, you don't see the other choppers as being able to travel?
No. This is mine. No, because this is for commuters.
Right.
This is for commuters. What you have to understand, this ain't not your sightseeing.
This ain't not.
This isn't your Grand Canyon.
This is a hell of a pitch. This ain't not your sightseeing thing.
What if we call it the Spinnebago?
It's not for, it's not to have the family vacation. It's for Joe Businessman and Mary Joe Businessman who are going from New York to New Jersey, or this is a national show. I think big. Going to Oakland to San Francisco, wherever your locale is.
Why would anyone go from Oakland to San Francisco?
Well, I don't know. But the point is,
I work in Oakland, so I live in San Francisco.
Well, I mean,
just the opposite.
Suburbs of Chicago into Chicago. In other words, we're going to put 20 Davey...
You're being so specific.
We'll put 20 Davey Mac's travel choppers across the country, and let's see how it happens. Because, here's my point. And then I'm being fucking dead serious. Why are we not utilizing the air? And I don't...
We're breathing it.
No, I mean for commuting.
I could use some more.
We got some people here that want to get in. Here's Kevin. Kevin, you're on the Fez.
Hey, Ronnie. Dave, have you ever heard of the Chinook helicopter in the Army? The double-prop helicopter hauled like 60 troops.
How many, sir?
They kind of already got it.
How many people?
How many?
At least 60.
All right, so that's 60. We just need one with 20 more.
looks like mine's 20.
By the way,
20 pp.
That says that there's only 20 in the country, but one happens to be conveniently located in his neighborhood.
No, you guys aren't taking it seriously. Scoff all you want, but this is a real thing.
Davey Mac's Jack and Ride.
Travel chopper,
commuter chop.
Yeah, and Ron Bennington.
Yes, sir.
Since we're calling you by your full name today,
I'm getting annoyed with that. Seriously, frustrated.
You, my friend, are going. It's $500 for a monthly pass, but $525 for first class privacy booth.
Okay.
Tinted windows.
For the Jack and Ride?
For the travel chopper. And you'll get basically a wider version of a phone booth.
Here's what I love about Davey Mac's Jack and Ride Hello Commuter Copter. That you have come up with the pricing before you've looked into expenses.
Well,
here's the other beauty of it. It's only an extra $1 a day to get your own room.
Will there be a beverage service?
No, there won't be, Fez.
Why not?
This is not...
I'm fucking thirsty up there. After that long Jack, I like a Snapple.
Ronnie, that extra $1 a day, I'd expect a soda.
But for you fine folks in the privacy booths, you can bring your own sodas. You bring your own cigars. You bring whatever the fuck you want.
We can smoke?
Smoking in
the privacy booth. In the privacy booth. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. The point is... And I hate to be cliche because
you are though.
We're never going to come up with flying
helicopter.
cars.
All right, here's Scott. Scott, you're on Fez.
Hey guys, Davey Mac, you're not too far off. When I was in the Navy, I actually worked for a H-53, and what that is it's a transport helicopter. It has the capability to in-flight refuel and carry over 60 troops. I flew from the Philippines to Okinawa and in-flight refueled over the Pacific with a C-130.
This is really great now because if this works out, I could be living in Winston-Salem. I just commute.
Your dream.
On the Jack and Ride Hello Commute. A copter.
Davey Mac travel chopper.
Yeah.
Now, listen. So
hell of a commute.
Here's what we can do then. Maybe the Army can lend me one of their choppers.
Why wouldn't they? They're not busy.
Ron Bennington and Anthony Cumia will give them $25,000. They're going to be my investment partners.
Hey, for $50,000, Anthony and I can
silent partners.
Fuck yeah, you're in.
Silent partners.
Silent. I'll be laughing. This will be worth losing the $50,000. By the way, it's going to cost you more than $50,000 to get your phones hooked up.
No, it's not.
Get your reservation system. You haven't looked into expenses at all. All you're really working on is the Jack and Ride Helicommuter. Now, how many times a day is it running back and forth?
It's going about 20 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's it going to land? It's not going to fit on most helipads.
There's a place called Central Park that Sully could have invested in, and because that jackass...
Oh, my God, the humanity. It's on fire. The Jack and Ride Helicommuter is on fire.
That will not happen. That blimp burning.
Here's Pete. Pete, you're on his show.
Hi, how you doing? How you guys doing? You know, the issue here is the cost of the fuel. This is going to be outrageously expensive and it's impossible. Otherwise, we would have been doing
Here's
it.
the beauty of it. With
You're
Davey
small-minded.
Mac's Jack and Ride Hella Commute, we don't worry about expenses. We worry about logos and names.
No, I figure.
What are some of the other big ideas you've had?
Okay, well, also, I mean, if I can stick with the commuters, because commuters, it's really tough to do a commute.
This is a nice pitch.
I thought of Davey Mac's Travel Boat, where here's an idea.
It's like a helicopter for the sea.
No, we're not even going to do that. The boat will be about 4 miles long, basically the distance of the Hudson. You get on the boat in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You walk to the front of the boat. By the time you get off the boat at the front, then you're in New York. So the boat's as big as the harbor. You walk from the back, walk to the front, and then you're there.
All right. Now, this is a great idea.
Right.
And I liked it the first time it was called the Tappan Zee Bridge. But with your long bridge, right?
Boat. It's going to be shaped like a boat so that people think they're on a ferry.
But here's the problem. And this is the only problem with your idea. As you're walking across your 4-mile boat that connects you from Jersey to New York, how are the other boats going to use the Hudson?
Right. There can be...
How about a big water bridge? We build a water bridge over top of you, and they have to sail over it.
No, at 2 different locations, we're gonna have what we call air holes in the bridge, because it's a 4-mile bridge. You can probably squeeze 2 50-foot wide air holes.
I heard now it's a bridge.
No, it's not. It's a boat. It's a boat. I misspoke.
All right, what happens in the air holes?
Well, the air holes. Boy, if I could just draw. I know this is radio. In the
Just
air
draw it
holes,
for me.
It's cut out. Basically, here's the boat.
Yeah.
And it's just big. It's just cut out. Basically, like the wheels of a car.
Yeah.
You know where the wheels of a car would go?
So this
Basically,
this,
think
now,
of the
am
wheels
I
of a
crazy, or does this look exactly like a bridge that we could anchor in and then use our cars to drive over? You know, let's call it the GW.
It's a bridge or an upside down canoe he's invented.
All right, by the way, here, I got this back to the Davey Mac's Jack and Ride Helicommute. The Mi-26 Halo Russian can carry over 80 troops. Now, here's the downside.
Okay.
All right, how many people we have on your helicopter?
On the helicopter, 80.
80, and what are we making on every run? How much money would that be?
$500 for a monthly pass, but on an individual run, $125.
All right, so give me 80 times 125 right now.
80 times 125.
Right.
0, 4, 6, 2. That is 10 grand.
All right, 10 grand. The problem is fueling alone is going to cost $13,000 an hour to operate. So even if we sell this thing out, before we even get to any of the rest of our expenses,
okay,
we're under $3,000 a trip. Now, at your 20 trips a day, that's costing us $60,000 a day before we get into any real expenses.
Oh, that ate up yours and Anthony's investment immediately.
Well, for even one day, it's worth it to me. And I think I'm going to speak for Ant right now. We want to see this fucking gray goose fly one day, the Davey Mac.
Here's the thing. Don't you guys understand how much money we're going to make in sponsorship? We have connections here at SiriusXM. I'm sure once they get a hold of... that could be one of them.
Carbonite. Excuse me, folks, while we're taking this Jack and Fly, enjoy some Carbonite and porn.com. By the way, AshleyMadison.com. Enough said.
That's the point. Somehow, it's my 2 most famous inventions, without a doubt, are Nizzers. By the way, you got to play the Nizzers song. That's on YouTube.
I thought when we did these episodes, I was going to pull the clips, and you were just going to sit back.
It's a quick request. You got to play the Nizzers song.
Maybe we'll end the episode with it.
You know, I produced that entire song myself, and it was an homage to the Beastie Boys. And since we've lost the Beastie Boy, I feel like that would be a nice thing to do. That would be a nice tribute. But
Dave, this honestly might be my first time hearing about Nizzers. So I'm going to have to do a little research after this episode.
What?
I think this might be my first time hearing about Nizzers.
Now, you said you're a Ron and Fez fan.
Yeah.
And you never heard of Nizzers.
I don't think it's your top 2 inventions.
It is. I know because I was there. It was what was talked about by the audience and Ron and Fez the most, along with Davey Mac's travel chopper.
The Jack and Ride.
My name for it was the travel chopper, I believe. Correct? Something to that effect.
It was the travel chopper, but
okay.
But it became
and my idea was a full-on chopper with a bed, with a nice spread, with a room and everything like that.
For an extra $1 a day, you got all the upgrades to the bed and your own private suite. That's what it broke down to. It was $500, and you would get a shitty seat in the back. For $525 a month, you would get your own little personal compartment where you told Ron you could smoke cigars if you wanted to. And he was like, "What about the rest of the crew?" And you're like, "No, they won't notice."
They're not going to notice. We're going to push you. We're going to have this whole thing. We're going to figure out a filter system. Just let me fucking listen. I got to get in front of Cuban. And then once they give it the green light, I hire a couple of engineers to make all this shit happen. But the whole point was we're going to go in a helicopter in style. We're going to fucking travel in style. We're going to make a luxury hotel suite for you in the air. Come on, man. This would be, oh my God, the characters like, for instance, on Succession would have been all over the Davey Mac travel chopper.
Initially, you presented it going, the most people we can fit in a helicopter right now are 5 or 6. And right away, the fans calling her like, "Have you heard of an Apache? It fits 62. They pretty much built what you're looking for, Dave." And you're like, "Well, could the military give me one? We could remodel it." So I see that as being a possibility.
That was the other thing, is that the Davey Mac travel chopper will have a lot of space for the occupants. I was thinking of a helicopter that was, I don't know, the size of an aircraft carrier. I mean, my goal is to build the largest helicopter on the planet Earth. Like make it as big as Delaware. Just have just fucking huge helicopter. Maybe we can get in 1,000 people or something.
You said you were going to do 20 flights a day with 80 people. And
okay, 20 flights with 80 people. There you go.
Yeah. And that's about 1,600. And Ron did the math. And to fill up the airplane, you were going to lose $3,000 a trip. So operating 20 trips a day, you were going to be out $60,000 right out the gate.
Well, but we're going to.
And Fez was like, "There goes," because you offered to Ron and Anthony, if they bought in for $60,000, they could have half the company. And Fez goes, "There goes the investment." And Ron goes, "Shut up! It's worth it for one day." I just want to see Davey Mac's Jack and Rides through. But it does seem like the commute was a focal point of your inventions, because the next invention, as Ron so eloquently put it, you invented the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yes, okay, so this made your top 2.
The boat that was the size of a bridge that would just move up and down the Manhattan. Yeah, I love that idea.
I mean, wait, you're gonna have to remind me. What is this fucking thing called?
A 4-mile long boat. So it would cross the Hudson, and it would move up and down the Hudson, and you could walk across it. And by the time you got to the other end, you were at your destination, and you'd be in Manhattan.
Now, hold on. This sounds fucking awesome. This sounds like 21st century shit, where in my mind's eye, I am literally picturing the first ever mobile bridge, the first bridge in the history of the world that won't need to be at one location. It can be wherever you need the fucking bridge. We got a 4-mile boat that's gonna cover most goddamn spaces.
And the issue that they had in particular, Dave, was then you would take out every boat on the river. To which you said, no, there would be arcs built with air bubbles so boats could fit in between. And you basically built a bridge just that was floating. And honestly,
we're going to have the boat arched up. Not as severe of an arch as the St. Louis Arch, but we're going to have it extended up. Any boats can travel right underneath.
Honestly, Dave, of all your inventions, I see this as the most feasible. You know what time the bridge is going to be at your location. There's a whole one down the river, and you just walk right on across. I love this. You get your exercise for the day. You're at work.
Right.
I am mad they did not build this.
I mean, honestly, there is some decency in this thing. I mean, how about the first ever mobile bridge? Shouldn't someone be thinking about that? I mean, that in and of itself
normally
is
they move like this. not like this. That's
No, I'm talking the bridge can be anywhere. In other words,
yeah.
You need that bridge in the Pacific Ocean? Go send it over. Right away. You need that bridge.
I don't like the
We
Pacific.
just fucking we have an example of when this would be applicable, which is in Baltimore. I'm not even taking the piss or having fun because 6 people died. But
and
right
apparently,
there,
Dave, let me tell you, the town of Baltimore feels very strongly about those 6 people. There were 2 seats up front, and I made a joke and was like, "Is this our tribute to the victims of the bridge?" And they all got real quiet.
yeah, well, I mean, Robert, why would you make a joke?
Because that's what you do with tragedy. You mock it, and then you feel better about it.
Yeah.
And then I pointed out it was a city of 600,000 people. Did they all know somebody? And then I didn't do very well the rest of my set.
You do know timing is a part of comedy, though, right? You know
No.
that?
What's that?
No.
I have no timing. You've done a show with me for 5 years now. You should know. I stepped all over you at the beginning of this episode. I have no timing.
More and more apparent. Yeah, I know. It's very odd. Very strange that you're a comedian with 0 timing. That's actually a character. That should be a next character for Siren Series.
Davey Blue.
But in all honesty, in seriousness, they needed a bridge right there. So the Davey Mac mobile bridge, send it from the Hudson River in New York right down there to Baltimore and help those people out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is something that we could use here in America. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, especially the Hudson. I love that.
I'm going to tell you something else. We're going to put wheels on the end of it. So if we need this thing even going land in America, for instance, I got to get over the Grand Canyon. Now, it can take me fucking, 5 hours to drive around it. Or, hey, can someone help me out and get the mobile bridge over here? Boom, mobile bridge drives over. It's right there on Grand Canyon. Boom. Now we got the fucking, 5 hours turns into 15 minutes.
Dear commuters of the Hudson, we're sorry. The Davey Mac Bridge has had to move to the Grand Canyon. Services will resume in 18 months.
For an emergency. The Davey Mac mobile bridge is based on need. If there was a need for the Grand Canyon folks, don't worry. We got you.
And we need to do the last 2 characters before we get out of here of the Siren Series challenge.
Go.
And classic Dave character, classic impression, still mocking. You know him, you love him. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave closes the contest before his medley. You do a medley to end, but with Hosp.
But let's go over and see an old favorite of the show. It's Hosp.
Hi, this is Hosp, the gay Sean Connery. I don't know how I got caught up in this battle of the characters. Usually people forget about me and my fat ass, Hosp. Maybe I could plug my charity walk again. It was quite a success. Me and my chubby ankles raised $12. That's like enough to buy a fifth of a Wii game for some kid. Boy, am I a beefy loser. Hosp. If there's one thing I do know, it's being the gay Sean Connery. You may have seen me in Cum Raper, Cock No Pushy, The Man with the Golden Cum, and Live and Let Cum in My Wide Ashhole, Hosp. They call me Hosp because I used to work in a hospital. I was a candy striper, but my fat stomach ate all the candy and I got let go, Hosp. If I was 3 feet taller, I'd be in shape. As it is, I look like an out-of-shape Louis Anderson, Hosp. Well, we do have the same sexual preferences now that I think about it, Hosp. Sucking cock, fucking dick, Hosp. My cock looks like someone glued a Rice Krispie to my pelvis, Hosp. Other movies I was in, Thunderballs on my chin, For Your Jizz Only, Hosp. Gotta go now, I have to remind my family that I'm related to them. Kiss my fat ass goodbye, Hosp.
Bye, Hosp. That was Hosp. And let's go over to Fez's 8th character, who doesn't like Piss-Stained Pete.
Hi guys, it's Piss-Stained Pete. Things aren't going real well for me, and I think I finally figured out why. It's this big piss stain on my pants. I can't get a job. I go on interviews and everyone says I'm qualified. Then they see my piss stain and tell me I'm not right for the job. I understand. Nobody wants a guy with an enormous piss stain as a waiter. You know, the customer is seated and I'm standing, so the piss stain is right there at eye level. Not gonna help your appetite any. A piss stain. I wanted to be a teacher, but I couldn't. Know why? Right. The piss stain. They told me standing in front of a class of 8th graders with a piss stain on my pants would be distracting. I get it. What are the kids gonna focus on? The Battle of 1812, or why does that guy have a huge piss stain on his pants? Piss stain's gonna win every single time. Dating isn't easy. I showed up at a girl's house. I can bring candy or flowers or even jewelry, but all they seem to notice is the piss stain. I tried putting a large chocolate stain on my shirt. I figured that would be more noticeable than a piss stain. Didn't work. I guess piss beats out chocolate every time when it gets in what gets noticed by a lady. Even if a girl does like me, she's never gonna blow me. Piss stain stops them right in their tracks. It's hard to ignore when your zipper's wet. I'm gonna get going. It's starting to smell pissy in here. And I think it's me.
There's Fez Whatley, and that's his 8th and final character. Excellent job. And who doesn't like piss stain Hosp?
Hosp. The gay Sean Connery.
I'm gay
Hosp.
Sean Connery.
Hello. My name is Hosp. And my big goal here is to be a radio star. Except I have zero charisma. I'm not interesting. And I have nothing to say. I'm just Hosp. The gay Sean Connery. Yeah.
Which is pretty much what you did.
I did that because I was mad that he stole my puppet, and the irony of ironies, where he was accusing me, the king of payoffs, literally the king, of not paying off some kind of bet, and I thought that was told. So he steals my puppet, kidnaps it, takes all the steam from Roberto the puppet, and then literally has zero payoff at the end. He just sheepishly handed it back to me after 3 months. And I'm like, well, thanks a lot, fuckface. You just destroyed the momentum of my fucking puppet. Thank you, buddy. Thanks. Your payoff was great. And the reason why he did have the Sean Connery where he can't say he wasn't, I don't know if he got his teeth fixed, but he didn't say S's. He said shh. Shh. Yeah, like Sean Connery.
Board gossip.
Yeah, board gossip. Yes.
And the irony of stealing your puppet is Fez kind of steals your character because he does somebody named Piss Pants Pete. Whose whole thing is
Piss Pants Pete.
I wanted to be a teacher in middle school, but they wouldn't take me seriously because the pee stain on my pant. And that was basically the whole thing. And even Ron goes, that was a great Hosp impression there, Fez.
I kind of like Piss Pants Pete.
I love it. And one of my favorite things is just as we look at this is like you said, they did kind of line up famous person and famous person, black character, black. But the direction you each took the same topic and went differently and made it just as entertaining as the other. I don't remember who won the Siren Series. I specifically didn't listen because I didn't want to know who won this contest. I'm guessing it was you just because you had a solid list there, Dave.
Yeah. This was, I think we did 2 of them. Maybe even 3. But the first one I took for
this one I believe you took. But the whole point I was getting at is it's just a microcosm of how entertaining the Ron and Fez show was. Like, you took a subject you had to do to try to get one of the members involved, but instead of just yelling at that member, you made it a game that people enjoyed. You each were able to shine in your own areas. The Dave and Fez kind of thing that was always underlying in most people's mind was there, but it was out in the open. You were literally competing in a character off, and in a way where you were kind of supporting each other because you're helping Fez break his nerves to get on air by doing the character thing. He's helping you develop characters by giving you airtime in front of an audience that's going to be supportive. They're not treating you like fuck twat the clown. And Ron's spurning the whole thing on, kind of shitting on anybody who tries, which is an underlying thing of the, you know what I mean? Like, it was really just a perfect sample of, if you don't know what the Ron and Fez show is, this is it in a nutshell. It's a bunch of characters coming together to have a good time.
This was a great contest. I enjoyed myself. We had a lot of fun with the Siren Series. I liked it. I thought it was awesome. And you're right. There was no contentious feelings or anything whatsoever. It was more of a fun exercise or competition. I guess there was a competition.
Competitive, but not angry. It was just trying to be the best.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
You know what, Dave?
I enjoyed
great
it.
Contest. Great episode. Anything you got to plug before we get out of here, buddy?
I'm going to go through my phone to find the Nizzers song.
No, so I will put it in the episode for you. Don't you even worry.
What do we promote? Well, listen, thank you for subscribing to patreon.com/EastsideDave. You're doing it already, and that's why we do these for you. Continue to subscribe, listen, and share the Davey Mac sports program. Show's on fire. Eastside Dave and Son Wrestling Show, WrestleMania
So hot.
special is here. We do a great job. And we actually broke down not only WWE WrestleMania, discussed my upcoming IWF event. That's the Independent Wrestling Federation, where I will be managing 3 people. I will be in 3 matches. New Jersey's greatest manager, me, Eastside Dave. I will be there April 13th. Tickets, campiwf.com. But Stanley Mac and I not only discussed that, we discussed AEW and the mistakes they're making 2 days before CM Punk did a big-time interview, and he pretty much said everything that we said, which is why I say you listen to the Eastside Dave and Son Wrestling Show. Because
sounds like CM Punk does.
We called everything, and CM Punk is literally a former employee there, and he basically confirmed every single thing that we had said on our WrestleMania special. Go check it out. And that's it, baby. Eastside Empire going strong these days.
Hell yes, it is. Make sure you're checking out all those things. If you want to see me, April 11th through the 13th, I'll be in Phoenix. I'm at Minnesota at some point. Most of the time, I'm in Pennsylvania. And guys, thank you for tuning in as always. Good evening, radio fans.
See you.
You need to open a box, but what should you use? Scissors or a knife? Don't worry, it's the Nizzers. They cut so fast and oh so smooth. Your paper and shirt tags and pork chops too. No, Nizzers. Nizzers. It's the Nizzers. Ever need a scissor? Only got a knife? Well, here's a Nizzer, sister, for a better life. No, Nizzers. Nizzers! 2 knives are connected to make up a pair of scissors. Oh, I was making crochet, then I got a steak, and now I cut away with Nizzers, make no mistake. Nizzers! Nizzers! All the ladies say, hey! Hey! Ho! Ho! Go Nizzers, go Nizzers, go! Go Nizzers, go Nizzers, go! Scissors in a knife, and knife in a scissor. Don't add more strife to your life. Just get Nizzers, Gizzer. Nizzers. Nizzers. Easily plastic detachable and safety guards for your kids. It's the Nizzers.